First off, happy Halloween, chat. Secondly, the NBA has become very, very scary because these injuries are starting to affect the product as a whole. You guys obviously know our usual suspects, Kawhi, Paul George, but now it's been other people that have gotten injured early on. DeJounte Murray has suffered a season-ending injury. Scotty Barnes has now suffered an orbital fracture and he'll be out a couple weeks. You've seen the crazy injury with Taylor Hendricks. And it's just been a number of guys that have been injured. And so I want to ask you guys, how is injuries just affecting the NBA and is it ruining the product? Even with the overall precautions that are being taken from players trying to avoid injuries. So Ja Morant, him sitting out 2 games into the season. And just things like that as a whole, that the precautions that teams are taking to keep their players healthy.
I've always felt like if you think you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. I think that's a mindset more than anything. If you play like that, then that's going to be the ultimate result. I can appreciate preserving a guy, but preserving a guy when we get late in the season is different than what we're doing right now, where like the curtain just went up and in game 3, I'm going to sit you because we're going to manage a reoccurring injury. I understand with Ben Simmons because he's got a significant back injury. I understand Ben Simmons because he's got a significant back injury, and that's not something that like you can play around with. I definitely get that. But the idea of a guy who we just got started and he's resting or he's got thigh tightness. I mean, come on, man. Like, why aren't you playing? There's no reason why you shouldn't be playing. None whatsoever. The curtain just went up, and that's why the Philadelphia 76ers got fined $100,000 off the strength that this product that you have needs to be on the floor. And if it's not on the floor, we need to know why. So I do think that it's ruining the product when a lot of these guys are able to go and they're not going. I do think it's ruining the product.
I'm enjoying the product. So, but I think
we're talking about something getting tight. We talking about somebody got tight last night?
For shots of Full Metal Quad.
What do you mean somebody got tight last night?
Right quick, chill and swipe up. Full Metal Quirk sent through a $50 super chat early on. He said October 31st, 1950, Earl Lloyd became the first black player to compete in the NBA, playing for the Washington Capitals in a 78-70 road loss to the Rochester Royals. Dub show.
What was the stat line?
Don't just say Earl Lloyd. Don't just say Earl Lloyd. It's Earl Sweetwater Lloyd.
Sweetwater?
Yeah.
Hey, man,
74 years ago.
Happy Sweetwater Day.
Get his
yeah, but what was his stat line?
I don't know. That's probably why they lost. Should have won the game.
What do you mean? That's why they lost, Marsh?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Probably why they lost.
Just asking questions. I'm trying to figure.
I know, but I feel like he gonna slander, the first black player ever.
He had 6 points.
I'm saying no. Swipe. Look, I'm sure Sweetwater had game. I'm sure he was cold. Mm-hmm. But if he wasn't, we gotta hold him accountable.
He has 6 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists.
What if they didn't pass him the ball?
Nah, Penn, stay out of this conversation.
That leader.
Wow.
For what it's worth, he was 2 for 3 that night. That leading scorer was Fred Scolari, who was 5
How many
for
minutes
19.
he played, Marsh?
Oh, you don't think they don't have that on the box score in 1950? Okay. We've got points and we've got assists for 2 players. Everyone else, there's no stats. they have Earl Lloyd's rebounds though, so we know he got 10 rebounds. So,
okay, he was the cleaning the glass.
6'5", yeah, he got 10 boards. Shout out to him. On the other team, shout out to Arnie Risen with the 20-point game. Red Holtzman, I know him because he was the Knicks coach. But he was playing in this game with 6 points.
Wait, what's the draft order, Ron, for the top 75 list?
So, fellas, I know you guys have pushed back against doing the top 75 list.
It'd be fun to do, Mars.
Which y'all got to give the people what they want. Y'all got to be showmen. Chill, Mars, Penn, I know you wouldn't sweat it. Swipe, I know you're not scared to put in the work. Ox, you 50-50. It just depends on how you wake up feeling. I don't know what Ox.
Well, I woke up feeling amazing, so I'm bad.
Ox,
I can't stay too long. I got a dentist appointment. What's up?
Ox, is that a onesie?
Why you worried about what I got on, man?
Because you be telling us what you be wearing, bro.
Yo, Ox, show us your Halloween costume, bro. You can show it to us.
Up, bro.
Oh, that's just the top of the. That's just the top of the pajamas.
I be in the dentist a lot too, by the way.
Dental hygiene is important.
I got sensitive teeth.
No, that's a fact. Ox, get your teeth taken care of. That's always.
But David Mujinaya said, "Time for that top 75 all-time list. Already got a draft order ready, Ron. Ron, Swiper, Penn, Chill, Bob, Mars. Snake draft.
Who would you take first, Ron?
Kareem. You take Kareem.
The hell I get.
Would you take Jordan or LeBron? Which one?
He would take Kareem.
You think
LeBron's
so?
not even in this conversation.
He thinks Kareem's the GOAT.
Oh, well, I don't think that's crazy, but okay, you're taking Kareem. All right.
I do not think that's crazy.
I think that's insane, but
What? It's insane that LeBron's not in this conversation.
If you want to hold Mars, and I know exactly where Mars is. Mars, if you want to hold Jabbar to the same standard that we hold all of these other guys to, it's not ridiculous to think that he's the GOAT. The standard that you want to hold him to, and the stuff that happens with him, like the fact that, sure, Mars, he was on a 60-win team that got bounced in round one. Yes, that did happen. Okay, we can't fight that. Now, does that happen to other GOATs? Yes, that has. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to hold him to that standard, what you also have to do is you have to put everything in his resume like you do with everybody else. If you're going to put his feet to the fire, put everybody else's feet to the fire and see how they match up with Jabbar. Because a lot of those guys can't say that they did what Jabbar did. A lot of those guys can't say that.
That's fact. Scrutinize him like you scrutinize LeBron and MJ, and you'll realize 100%. He's not in the discussion.
Well, I got no problem with that. I take no issue with that whatsoever.
I think that's a stretch, but we don't have to get into that right now. That can be a part of our top 75 debate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not having this debate.
So you still gonna put Moses? You still put Moses in top 15 talks?
Yes.
Jokic ain't even on the top 75 list, right?
No.
Yeah.
So we're doing 17 best. We're not doing it like the NBA does it, like this many per era. We're just doing who's the best 75 players ever.
Do we have to do? Okay, so
that's
open
fire.
list.
That's fire.
Let me make sure I save this draft order. So what we gonna do is
don't save that weak ass draft order.
We're not gonna draft 75 people, are we?
Yeah,
yes.
We're gonna draft 75 people between.
That ain't gonna take that long.
It's not like 11 picks.
Swiper, you just can't critique everybody's picks. Swiper.
No. Stay off me. You know, you don't get mad because you can't put DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron fucking Keegan Murray because you know what you're gonna do. You know what you're gonna do.
Well,
Sabonis is better than Bob Cousy. Sabonis is better than Bob Cousy if you're asking me.
I would never put
George Mikan. Yeah, look at him. Look at
us.
Bro, been listening to talk for like.
What we doing?
DeMontis said destroy George Mikan, bro.
Vince Carter's getting on the list. Sabonis getting on the list.
I'm not putting. Oh, okay.
Got you. Hey, well, that may be a Thanksgiving special or a Christmas special. We'll see. We'll give you guys something, but we'll draft our top 75 players starting in one. I'm glad I got the first pick, and then we'll continue to go from there. But we're going to get back to it. I got one more super chat I want to read right now. Dubs the Money Man sent through a super chat. He said, salute to the panel and chat. I like what the Wizards are doing.
What are they doing?
We're at that point in the season where the bad teams start off feisty and everyone's like, oh, play and push. And then they go and lose 60 straight games. So that's I love this part of the season where we got, the Nets, competitive. The Wizards, we don't know. And then come the end of the season, they're the 14, 15 season.
Hey, but the Nets really looking nice, though.
The Nets are competing. And then when they blow up the whole roster, they'll be like, 14 seed. So, yeah, I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've been pushing my Bilal Coulibaly prop. I'm here for it.
Have faith in the Wizards, Morris. Have faith in the Wizards.
I got faith in Bilal and Corey Kispert.
Hey, Bilal had a hell of a game last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's my guy. Bilal
yeah, shout out Olympics.
He had 27. What he went? 3 for 5 from 3?
11 for 14, 3 for 5 from 3. Yeah. Played good defense again on Trey, back-to-back nights. Now, Trey did Trey things, but besides the point.
All right, but let's get back to it, fellas. how are we feeling about injuries? And then obviously Steph just re-rolled his ankle. I know it's sports. I know it's basketball. I know it's basketball at the highest level. Dudes are bound to get injured. We are just human beings. But how this early in the season for this many guys to get injured this quick with season into injuries and stuff like that, and even guys just slow to come back. I know Penn's guys, Emmanuel Quickly's out. And so, like, how are we feeling about this? Is this a sign that this may be a rough season for us?
I think you said it. It's basketball. Guys are gonna get hurt. I mean,
It's been a more physical season as well. It wasn't scoring down the first week of the season for the most part.
Scoring is down. I don't know if that's because of physicality or because of rust or a mixture of the two. Like, I think a lot of things play into it. But I think they are letting some more things go in terms of physicality. But I don't think that's why people are getting hurt. Well, it might be, but I think people are getting hurt because athletes get hurt. Like, that's why I think they're getting hurt. Now, is it unfortunate when it happens? Yes, but I don't think it ruins the product. I mean, we go into watching sports acknowledging that these guys probably gonna get hurt. Like, it just is what it is. I find ways to enjoy watching basketball regardless of who's out there. But I can understand being like, oh, this guy's not playing. This guy's, because I like basketball. Right? I don't need to watch. Now, watching the Sixers is kind of tough, but like, relatively speaking,
that's a hard watch without Embiid.
Worse than watching the Spurs.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
the Spurs is hurt too.
Yeah, but I enjoyed Devin Vassell and Trey Jones. I enjoyed watching that OKC game last night, and that was with the Spurs not being 100%. I thought that, like, Chet came out of that game, the first play of the game, made a crazy play on Wembanyama, and then got another block. I was like, then he tried to throw a lob off the backboard. Like, there's interesting things going on in these games, even when guys are hurt. It's just maybe it's not the superstars you want to see.
How many of these guys are? And again, it's not like I can tell you, Mars, how you feel. I can't tell you, Ox, what to think. I can't do that. But what I can ask is, how genuinely hurt are these guys?
What do you mean?
What I mean is, if this was the playoffs, could you go? If this was a month before the season and you're fighting for a playoff position, could you go?
Embiid and PG? No, I don't think so. I think Embiid's legitimately dragged.
Scotty Barnes could.
Yeah, his face. He just have to wear a mask.
And that's what I'm thinking when Scotty Barnes, he Joker hit him in the face and he broke his face. Put a mask on. Can I get back to work? Yes, I could get back to work. There's a reason why.
This is early in the season, though. You don't think for a broken nose?
You get paid. This is why you get paid the big bucks
to play with a broken nose.
Why not? I mean, I watched Rip Hamilton put a mask on and play with a broken face.
That doesn't mean you have to.
And see, that's the point right there. That's the point right there. We get held accountable for what we say. We do that all the time. Mars, you get held accountable. I get held accountable. Swiper, you get held accountable. Ops, we get held accountable for what we say. Why aren't these guys held accountable for what they do? Now, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate a legit injury. Steph Curry has had ankle injuries since he came into the league. And there are nights where he just can't go. But if I broke my nose, right? I broke my nose. How much does that really affect my game? Where if I just put on a mask.
If I broke my nose, would you expect me to be on the show tomorrow?
If you broke your nose,
yeah,
Mars, you better put a mask on and bring your ass up.
I'm just this is not me judge. Like, if I broke my nose, would you expect me to be on the show tomorrow?
Just for content, personally, but other than that, no.
So why not? If I wasn't on the show,
if you broke your jaw, then yeah, I would say so.
Well, I'm saying, but like, if your nose is broke, you can't, like, you know what I mean? You can't breathe correctly.
If he breaks
like
his
all
nose,
that stuff.
tape your nose up and bring your ass on the show. What is a broken nose gonna make broken takes?
Well, it's going to be harder.
You gonna lose your accent, Mars?
To breathe.
The issue that
I might sound quite nasally. I might sound quite nasally.
Probably more than you already are. More than you already are.
Accent. Yeah, I might.
But
so you guys would expect me to show up with a broken nose?
I didn't say that. We don't. Well, let me say. I don't think PCHR would expect you to show up. Now, Ron might.
Also, a broken nose is different to a broken face, but
if it's a part of your face. If I broke my nose, I'd be here tomorrow. I would, and that's just who I am. And if I'm able to work, I can work with a broken nose. I'm coming to work with a broken nose. If I gotta, put a tape on it or whatever, okay, I'll work with a broken nose. Now, if these guys are realistically hurt and they can't go, That's different because there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Injured is I can't go. What's going on with Steph Curry? Steph Curry can't go. He's had a history of ankle injuries where he can't run. All right, so he needs some time off. I got a broken nose, and the reason why I'm having trouble with this is because I've seen guys play with broken noses, and that's the issue that I'm having.
But why is every situation the same though? Scotty, like
also orbital fracture. Yeah, orbital fracture is not a broken nose. Like we're just. I want to clarify that.
He broke his face.
Yeah, but that's here,
Okay.
like,
Bro, an orbital fracture can impact your vision
permanently.
So yeah, your face is swollen. You can't go. Like it's a
This
broken.
but it's not.
I thought he broke his nose. I didn't know it was his eye.
That's why I said because Embiid has played in the playoffs with an orbital fracture.
Right.
But it's
I
not
thought he broke his nose.
I've
seen guys play with a broken nose.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, this is that thing. This is that thing right here, and it cracks and then it pushes pressure up against your eye.
Embiid played.
That would suck. That would chill. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would be horrible.
Now that's a genuine injury. He can't go. I thought it was a broken nose.
But even with your nose is broken, chill. Like
I've seen guys play with a broken nose before.
But it's just some people. There's also degrees to how damaged your nose is. Some require surgery, some don't.
Bleeding.
Yeah, but that's you, chill. That was you. And how? What's 1995? This is 20 years later. 30 years later.
More money, more technology.
Yeah, but that's cool. But we also understand. We had this discussion before, too.
More knowledge leads to more advice, and you get advised better. Yeah, maybe you probably shouldn't play on this because you got better people.
We're not even 10% through the season yet. Yeah, like, what's the point?
What if it gets worse? That's the question you're not asking. What if it gets worse, right? What if you re-injure it? What if you complicate it? Right? We saw Isaiah Thomas play hurt, and he got a lot of daps for that, right? And then he lost what?
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing, Penny.
Why?
It's not. And the reason why that's not the same thing is because we're making it look like he just threw his body on the line. Danny Ainge offered him a contract. He asked for more money. That was the issue. Let's not make it sound like let's not make it sound like Isaiah Thomas. What it has to do with is that was him deciding that I'm going to play more. He could have took the money that Danny Ainge offered him, which was a damn good contract. He decided not to take that. Then he got hurt, and then he got nothing. That was the problem. So let's not make it sound like yo, I'm gonna up my worth by playing.
He was averaging nearly 30 points per game.
So he got offered a non-max contract.
Yeah, exactly.
He got offered a non-max contract.
Sure.
Declined it. Bet on himself. Played like a max player. Got hurt. Then came back when he shouldn't have to play for that same franchise. Right. Then, because he wasn't as good as he was before the injury, he no longer gets a max contract, and that's his fault.
Yep, because you know why?
Yeah.
Because he was a B player.
You wonder why they don't play through injuries.
No, that's not it at all, Mars. The reason
that too. That's a good point.
I'm not like
I'm on that point.
Chill. It just happened to Brandon Ayuk. You just saw it happen. Why you hold out in camp for $30 million a year to be a receiver for 4 years in case you get the injury he just got. He just tore his ACL.
Sure.
Before, but that's the point in doing it. The reason you hold out, the reason you don't play, the reason you make sure you get your money, the reason you try to get as much money as possible. You don't leave stuff on the counter, especially for your first deal. Isaiah Thomas is a 5'9" point guard who had one hellacious year, and then for the sake of his team, for the sake of the city, and for the sake of himself, came back, got hurt again, and then what happened? Now, and it's known Boston screwed that man over. So it's not even just Isaiah Thomas gambled on himself, and then he didn't get it, and he got hurt. Yep. He got screwed over by Danny Ainge. Everybody knows it. This is very well known.
Screwed over how, Swiper?
Because man, they did that man.
Well, look, this what I'm saying. Like, I think y'all both are right about that. Like, y'all both that part right there. Right about that.
He wasn't told how bad his injury was. So
you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Like you can't on the one hand be like, oh, this guy's soft because he's not playing, but then when he plays through pain and he gets hurt for longer and now he's out for 6 months, you're hating on him. If he plays hurt and he puts up like 2 points, you're hating on him. Right? Why can't he do better? What kind of
what you can't also tell me neither, Penn, is you can't tell me that I'm going to sit out because I want more money and then turn around. You can't tell me that I'm going to sit out because
the money equation doesn't have anything to do with playing hurt. I mean,
because you brought up the Isaiah Thomas issue.
I brought up the Isaiah
Thomas. The reason why that's an issue is because, again, he was offered a contract. And to Mars's point, he was offered a non-max contract. And the reason why he was offered a non-max contract is because Danny Ainge recognized that I have a B player who had an A year.
Sure.
That's what happened. He wanted to. He thought he was an A player. I don't see you that way. And
Well,
this
there are
is
a
the
bunch of
money that
people
I'm
that have
prepared to
A-level
offer.
contracts that are not A players, though. That's just the way the market works.
Well, you guys should be A-level characters, and you shouldn't load manage on your opportunity to make big bucks. How you can do that? Through DraftKings, because the NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from behind the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. It's your first time gambling? Cool, no worries. If you're a new DraftKings customer, you can bet $5 to get $200 back instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Players Choice. That's code Players Choice, all in one word, capitals too, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Got a gambling problem? No worries. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. Fellas, proceed with how we feel that injuries are affecting the game.
Who was talking?
Somebody, like, I understand what you're saying about the money thing. I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the concept of re-injury and compensation injuries. When you have a favorable, like if you're favoring your ankle, that's compromising your knee. That might be compromising your other leg. So when you have that situation going on, then you can't be upset at the guy because now, okay, he was supposed to miss 2 weeks, but it was a soft injury. He should have been day to day. He came back a little bit soon. He put up 2 points. He got re-injured. Now he's out for 6 months. And also when that results in them missing the 65 game mark for the All-Star thing, when that starts resulting with their money, when that starts resulting with fans hating them online and, asking for them to be traded. Like, I watched a player play hurt almost every single night. Actually, 2 of them. Both Philly point guards, by the way. Alvin Williams was number 1. Kyle Lowry, number 2. Both guys always hurt. You see them after practice? Ice wrapped around their knee. They were dead. That's your I want to say that's your generation, Cho. Like, that's your mentality. That's the AC Green mentality. That's not how other people today think. So, I mean, who's to say what's right or wrong? You could say, let's go back to the 80s. I say the game's different.
You're muted, Chill.
I'm muted, Chill.
Again, and that's fair. And I'm not stuck in the past where, you got to work with your arm hanging off. No, I'm not saying that. But if I'm able to work, no, I'm definitely not saying that. Swiper where I got poked in the eye and I can't even see out of this eye, but all right, just put some goggles on and play. No, I'm not.
Charles Barkley missed a game in your era because he had soap in his eyes. Lotion, actually. He had lotion in his eye. He missed the game.
You know how painful it is to get.
No, chill. That was your era. He was one of the toughest players in the NBA, and he missed the game because he had lotion in his eyes.
And Greg Anthony was practicing lotion in his helmet. And Greg Anthony was practicing at UNLV with a helmet on because he broke his nose. So still playing. That's not the point.
Well, Greg Anthony wasn't as good as Charles Barkley though. So what does that mean to me?
The point that I'm making.
Your MVP sat out because of lotion.
Chill. The game is evolving faster than human biology. You understand what I'm saying? There's no 7-footer in your era or your father's era or anyone's era, frankly, who's ever moved like Joel Embiid or Victor Wembanyama. These guys don't do that. There's no 7-footer in the 80s who was being asked to close out the 3-point shooters and run in transition like this.
Shaq did. Shaq was athletic like that. Yes,
I watched so much Shaq. There ain't no
100%.
way you're telling me that
Olajuwon.
Shaquille O'Neal was
Yes,
closing
he
out
was.
the 3-point shooters. Come on, man. One of
Now
the
closing
laziest
out
defenders.
closing out the long ball shooters. Now there's a difference
Okay,
between
but
moving
that's
and
my
closing
point.
out the long ball shooters.
So
No,
when
no,
you
that's not the
when
same
you
thing.
start going
No.
into the tracking data, Chill, you will understand the 7-footers today have very different responsibilities than 7-footers back then. But the biology of being 7 feet tall and that low doesn't change. Athletes are bigger. Court is still the same size. Pace is picking up.
Sure.
People talk all the time about, oh, they took the physicality away. Go watch a game in the 90s. Go watch a game last night. Don't look that different to me. In terms of physicality, in terms of the hits that guys are taking, it's not that different. You can point to, oh, the bad boy Pistons. There's no team like that. Man, guys are getting beat up left
That's
and
not
right.
basketball, if I'm being honest with you. It's not. That's not the way we play basketball. I mean, the Knicks tried it, but I digress. What I'm saying.
My point is, a 7-footer is still a 7-footer. Like the load that you're putting on that body, a 300-pounder is still a 300-pounder.
Sure.
Over 20 years, just because the game has changed so much, skill evolution has changed so much, trainers have changed so much, the game has changed so much in terms of where we're asking these players to be. There's no 7-footer in the 80s who had the responsibilities of a Brook Lopez or Joel Embiid.
To guard the long ball line is what you're saying.
The
the
court has
space,
gotten
just
the
the space and the defense is
space
different.
you have to cover
Yeah.
defensively and offensively have just
But it's not that
changed.
they couldn't do that, though. I mean, Jabbar was a phenomenal athlete, right? Shaq
that's
was a
not
great
the
athlete. I understand what he's saying. I do understand what he's saying. The fact that you have at 7 feet to cover that much space for that amount of time, I understand the wear and tear that it will have on your body. I get that part. 100% I understand that. With that being said, that's why you train. Now they train different, right? They trained different back then. So you, as a 7-footer, to your point, Penn, I'm not training to close out on Steph Curry. I'm not training to close out on Klay Thompson. What I'm training for is I'm training to bang with Olajuwon, right? I'm training to bang with Patrick Ewing. I'm training to rebound, and I'm training that way. Does that mean that I can't? Does that mean that I can't train to close out at the long ball line? No, it doesn't. That's just not what was going on back then. I mean, when you're talking about athletes being evolutionized, I mean that takes millions of years. I mean,
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Just to be
Bill-
clear, hold on.
Bill
Chill.
Russell is not.
Chill.
You're
Chill.
not
Chill.
telling me that Bill Russell is not an elite
I can
athlete in today's game.
factually
There's no
prove
way
to
you're
you
telling
that
me
you
that.
don't believe
No,
that.
it wouldn't be.
I can factually prove to you do not believe that because we track human evolution in this world every 4 years. We watch every 4 years as human beings from 1920 to 2024 are faster, stronger, bigger, and more athletic. Penn, Mars, y'all tell me if I'm lying. Faster, bigger, more athletic, and have more endurance than they had 100 years ago, even 15 years ago, even 16 years ago in 2008. Athletes are different now than they were at that point in time. Some of that's technology.
You're not lying.
Some of that's technology, but some of it's also just the body. Like, we just get progressively better. Women are getting faster, for instance, statistically, quicker than men are. So there is a pathway 150 years from now for women to be running near the same as men in track because of the rate they're getting faster based on the technology and access. It's a bunch of like numbers and stuff. Don't even.
That's assuming that their rate stays.
Yeah,
the same.
it stays the same. It's consistent,
Yeah.
and then men's like somehow whatever. So there's a lot into that. But I think the way that we are moving as a society, I think to the point of injuries, we actually have this argument somewhere, but that's for another day. This whole thing for me is like, if you're Joel Embiid, you're a superhuman. Like, literally, you're 7'1",
Right.
and you're 295 pounds, and you're doing things that no one else has ever done. And then on top of that, you're being tasked to guard, even if Shaq was an approximation of Embiid.
Never done like what? What do you mean, Sparkle?
So when you're in this league now, my whole argument with this Ox is like 50 years ago or 40 years ago, Joel Embiid's a much more stationary athlete.
I'm saying I'm not seeing Joel Embiid do something I've never seen anybody else do before. I'm just want you to clarify.
So yeah, so if you just go back like into the 1980s, for instance, and somebody of his size, what he would be asked to do on a night-to-night basis is just drastically different than what it is right now. That's just because of the way the game has evolved. I would say, and I'm actually different than a lot of old heads on this. I think a lot of people are asleep on the fact this is a more athletic era than we've ever been in. Chill. I actually think this is a more physical era than we've ever been in. Now, physical as in like people aren't just.
What has Joel Embiid done that
Yes.
nobody else is his body physically. What is he doing?
Sure.
Nobody-
So
I wish y'all had Jordan on this one
That's
because
what I'm
like
talking about.
there's a discussion of
Hold
training.
on.
that has to happen.
Let's swipe answer the question. Let's swipe answer the question. I'm just
Yes.
Swiper, you've been called.
So not been called. It's just he's asking basic questions. So, for instance, when Bill Russell was playing basketball in the 1950s and 60s, the way he had to move his body and the pace he played against and the kind of players he played against is drastically different than now. So when you're as big as Embiid is, think about the movement that Embiid's asked to do. And one of the reasons why Embiid was such a tremendous defender for so many years when he was healthy, his ability to be able to like play up, play in space, close out, get back to the rim, play up, block shots, get down, sprint down in transition, post, body, move, and then get back and be able to switch onto a guard like Drew Holiday or Damian Lillard or whatever else it was, and then be able to play drop at a really high level, then move up and move down, and then guarding wings, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. He was like becoming like this. He was a top 10 player in 2017-18 because of his ability to be able to move as well as he did and be as dominant of a defender and offensive player as he was. And I'm saying that the thing that's hurting Embiid, Ox, he's so big and he's been so athletic. I don't think his body has been able to keep up with how well he's moved over the course of his life, because obviously he plays soccer, like all different things. And I think when you play in this league now, I think that the demand physically is so much different, because I think it's the repetitions that you're taking versus other elite athletes that's causing you to go ahead.
Can I use that same logic with bigs back then who were getting banged on and getting roughed up with each other, plus getting up and down the floor? Now I can appreciate Penn, your logic of covering this amount of space. Okay, I get that part. But in terms of the physicality and banging with a big guy that's my size, another guy that's 7 foot or 6'11" that's leaning on me, plus I got to get up and down the floor on a consistent basis. There's really no plays off for me when I'm playing that amount of minutes. Can I use that same logic with another big guy when we're talking about the evolution of sports?
In what way?
So I think that it's really, really important. I say it again. I wish Jordan was on this because he is a trainer, and I know I follow a ton of trainers, guys who are doing athletic training, peak athletic training. It's important to realize there are different types of athletes. When you watch a James Wiseman play basketball, that's a super athlete, right?
Correct.
And shout outs to James Wiseman. I hope you get back from that Achilles tear. This is not slander on James Wiseman, but it is important to realize that dude could not hang laterally. Could not hang. Get switched onto a guard, blow by. Because what was not tested in high school was tested in the NBA, which is that he cannot switch onto a guard. That vertical burst that he had, that gazelle sprint that he had, it did not translate to the lateral quickness. Now, you're only going to be tested against who you're playing against. So when you say Bill Russell would be like a super athlete today, biggest Bill Russell fan on earth, no, he wouldn't be. There are a lot of players. The reason that you think that is because Bill Russell was so far ahead of his generation. But there are dudes like Jaren Jackson Jr., you put him back in the 60s, you'd be talking about Jaren Jackson for the next 60 years for being like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone do that shit. You put James Wiseman in the 50s, provided he, figured out how to play basketball back then, you'd be talking about him till today. That's my point. Is the athleticism is only tested against who you're up against. There probably has never been a guard like a Ja Morant in the 50s, 60s, 70s that you even had to think about covering if you were a Bill Russell. And nobody with that level of quickness, that level of burst, that level of shiftiness, first of all. Second of all, the skill evolution in the NBA takes that athletic evolution and punches it up to like 10. So it's not like you watch the game in the 70s. Ain't nobody had a handle like Ja Morant back then. Nobody was like Ja Morant, and no big was asked to guard that guy. So it's just a matter of like, what are you asking this guy to do now? Ox asked a great question. It's like he's seeing Joel Embiid. He's like, I never, what is he doing that nobody else is doing? He's having to switch out to Ja Morant at 300 pounds, 7 feet. That's what he's doing that nobody else has done. Right.
Prior to D Rose, who's the most athletic point guard ever? Chill for you.
Jason Kidd.
Most athletic.
Jason Kidd.
Steve Francis didn't exist.
Robert Pat.
I think Jason Kidd was a better athlete than Steve Francis.
Okay.
Spud
Baron
Robert
Davis?
Packhoff is very familiar with.
Definitely a better athlete than Baron Davis.
Damn. Okay.
I think Jason Kidd was a better athlete than Baron Davis. Yes. But I mean, we just literally had this conversation where we talked about how much the game has changed over the point of 5 years to today, how much the game has changed over the course of 4 years to today. So when you just bring up a guy like John Morant, okay, Bill Russell has never seen John Morant coming off the screen and having to move laterally like that. Well, because we have the athletes that we have, how quickly would he be able to adapt to that? Being an elite athlete, how quickly would he be able to adjust to that? Being an elite athlete. Now, does that mean that it's going to take, is it going to take years for him to adjust to that? No, I don't think so. And that's what being a great athlete is about. Your ability to adjust and understand that, okay, this is what it is now. I understand what this is now, and I can adjust to this. So
I believe that. I believe that any great, like super great, like any of those guys in the top 20 conversation, they would have adapted because they would have adjusted their training. They would have fixed some stuff. Like I think Bill Russell could hang today if he had today's training. But you can't just teleport Bill Russell from the 60s, you know, and say, hey, play in today's NBA. He would be very lost. Very lost. He'd be a better passing Nick Claxton.
I've always said that it's updated software. You can't just use the same software. It's like Windows 98 and then the software that we have today. You could take Windows 98 and bring it into 2024. You'd have to update it though, because it's not the same as what the software is today though. But what we were talking about in terms of injuries, that's why you train in the summertime. That's why you take care of your body. That's why you eat right. That's why, now don't get me wrong, there's certain injuries that guys can't prevent. Again, Steph Curry. Steph Curry has an ankle problem. That's nothing that he can do about that. The only thing that he can do is manage that. But the other stuff that we see with these players, that when I read the ticker, he's held out of this game for thigh soreness. We have masseuse on the roster. That's a bruise, right? Elbow contusion. That's why he's sitting out. That's a bruise. You could get back to work with stuff like that. That's not something that you should ask for the day off for. I understand that we got to manage. I understand.
But why?
The reason why is because this is what you train for and this is what you get paid to do. That's why.
Well, if it's not structural, then I mean, what's the like? If you're just hurt, then you could play. Like, and that's whatever though. You know, if you don't feel like you want to play just because you got a little pain that's not making it worse or anything, then that's your choice. And I feel like everybody has the ability to decide. You know?
Yeah, but
Luka played hurt through the NBA finals, didn't he? His knee was bleeding.
The playoffs. Most people are gonna play if they can.
I think it's a combination of both, but I think it's more the team, and I think it's the players who don't say anything. Because you're a representative of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we're on game 11, and you're sitting me out tonight, and the line says that you're sitting me out tonight because I got a sore shoulder. No, I don't. I can play tonight. Even if my shoulder is sore, I can go tonight.
But that's what most players do, though. Most players tell you, the team tells you, but then the player then has to choose to say, okay. I'm telling you that's what's happening. It's like, for instance, Joker has a typical pitch count. They tried to put him on, but you know what Joker says to the medical staff? I'm playing. Like it just whatever you say. Like I'm going to play in this basketball game, but you have to choose to do that. LeBron has done that over the course of his career, but there are some injuries though, Chill, and this is why I'm just like, cause I feel like the people that are most pointing to are like Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis had like legit injuries.
Yes,
that were keeping him out of games, that were affecting him playing over the course of a season. Kawhi Leonard, as we're seeing now, has a degenerative issue. It's been 7 years. Like, he's just been fighting this same injury for years, and it's continued to show up. Paul George didn't he have surgery on both shoulders? Like, he's had injuries for years. Joel Embiid had injuries for years. Scotty Barnes got hit in his face on a random rebound and got like 7-foot man, boom.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? You can't control any of that. So even for the players that are getting hurt, John Morant, Chill, legitimately gets hurt. He had a hand injury last year that affected him, a wrist injury that affected him. I mean, what are you going to do about that? You know what I mean? Like, I think some players are taking advantage of it in some way, but I can't really think of a player that's out consistently that doesn't have a reason a real reason not to be playing basketball. If anything, this is on the teams and how they're – and even the Philadelphia 76ers thing, it's not really about Embiid. It's about the reporting for the 76ers. They do not accurately report what's happening with their players. That's why they got fined. Go ahead.
Now, I do understand the logic that it's these players' choice. But, again, you are an employee. Sure. You are, but you are an employee. I work for the Clippers. I work for the Phoenix Suns as a player. I work for them. So if I'm under contract and the Phoenix Suns tell me you're not playing tonight, yo, I'm good to go. Not tonight. You're not. That's their. They are the ones in control. So a guy like Kevin Durant who ends up rupturing his Achilles, Kevin Durant, the Golden State Warriors could have kept him out of the lineup. They could have very well said, yo. Because we have to be saved from yourself from time to time. Contrary to popular belief, you have to be saved from yourself. And these guys, very much like any athlete, they're competitive. And you're going to have to take them out. They're not going to just come out. You're going to have to take them out. That's where that's where the organization comes in.
Yeah, but the organization's always going to align its own goals over the individuals, though. Like that happened in college football all the time.
This is the gap. This is the biggest gap. And I think this is the big area of misunderstanding. You still think of players as employees. They do not see themselves as employees. They see themselves as independent contractors. And that's the difference. They can go wherever the hell they want. They can force a trade. They got guaranteed contracts, 5 years. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to play for the next 3 years. What are you going to do? You're going to void his contract? He's going to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like there's a partnership. It's a 49-51 in the CBA. That's a partnership. I don't know a single company that pays their employees 50% of revenue. I don't. So it's not old school like 60s.
Some nonprofits.
Pardon? Some nonprofits,
yeah,
sure. But I mean, the Steve Ballmer, like, you know what I mean? Like you got players that are aspiring to be billionaires. And that's not like LeBron going to be a billionaire, Jordan billionaire. In 10 years, I guarantee you there's at least 15 more. In 20 years, there's like 100. The way these contracts are going. Now you telling billionaires their employees like at a 7-Eleven? It's not the same thing. It's not the same era. You could say this era is damn coddled. Sure. I could tell you probably 40% of basketball players don't really love basketball. Pro basketball players probably don't care about basketball. Draymond Green said 85%. And that's the thing, right? Like the money does change the equation a lot, but I think this concept of thinking of players like employees, no, it's a partnership for sure. And you got to make sure you do partnerships with the right people.
Fair enough.
But then too, the culture of athletics also like is built around the athlete experience too, Chill. I mean, but you know that like everything in our organization is about me anyway. And then on top of that, when you add money into that, now you're paying me like 40, 50, $60 million a year, and everybody caters to me all of the time. I mean, for me, it just goes beyond injuries. Like the entire culture of like NBA basketball is predicated around the player's well-being. So it's natural for injuries to also be kind of rooted around that as well.
That's why we got 5-star hotels and chartered planes and masseuse and all of that sort of stuff, because for that reason, for that specific reason right there.
Are you guys for player empowerment or against it?
I'm for it. I'm 100% for it. Yes, because when I can't play anymore, I can't play anymore, and you don't care. I'm 100% for it. Yes, I am.
Cool.
I'm for it for the player. Like for the player, I'm for it. For watching good basketball, I'm against it. But said it don't matter. Like to me, what's most important to me is for players to be able to walk in their 50s, be able to play with their grandkids, be able to run around with their kids. I'm not for players like Joel Embiid. When you're really hurt, you got torn meniscus, structural damage. Like, sit down, bro. You don't need to be out there. You don't got to prove nothing to anybody.
And then he'll still try to play.
That's how I feel personally. But when people got soreness and you know what I'm saying, bruises, and you don't want to play through that, that's to me, I think that's I think you're disrespecting the game. I feel like that's kind of sad, but at the same time, though, like, you know, You can't tell these dudes nothing. If they don't want to play, they don't got to play. That's just something we have to deal with now. That's just something like chill. We just got to come to terms with it. Like everybody's not gonna think times have changed. Like Penn and Swiper been saying times has changed, and that's just like for us to still get upset about it, or for us to still be like, oh man, it's messing up. It's like we just got to just adapt.
But Ox, this could be the NFL. Chill could be the exact opposite, where we ain't reporting nothing at all, and it ain't nothing. I mean, you get a headache, you get a concussion. There's nothing. Chill. The NFL lost $1 billion lawsuit because of how they were treating concussion for former players. Chill. It could be that.
You have to tell them.
It could be that. It could be the complete opposite end of this, where there's no player safety. There's nothing, where there's no incentive for the player.
We don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that.
The way this stuff is talked about,
as a company.
The way this stuff is talked about in the media. Unfortunately, I see the equation as players on one side, right? And then there's everything else on the other side. There's fans, there's the media, there's the teams, right? So if I'm a fan and I'm thinking about a player in opposition to his organization, the question that I have to ask is, am I actually going to let myself be manipulated into supporting billion-dollar organizations over millionaire athletes? Because the media is telling me to hate on Ben Simmons or Embiid or Kawhi or whatever, right?
Wait, Penn. So I'm supposed to be mad at Ben Simmons, right, for making this money. But you're telling me that the owner for the 76ers, who has trashed that team for years, put up a horrible product. I'm supposed to be mad at Ben Simmons, but not mad at the owner for how they've been managing that team, or for Dolan, for the Knicks prior to them getting worldwide wet, Rob, and all. I mean, that's just
what I said, right?
No, I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. Like that's crazy to me.
Agreeing with me, so it's very.
No, I'm not a hyper capitalist, bro. That's crazy to me. That's wild. That's crazy. Team loyalty.
I just want to watch basketball. All this stuff just getting too businessy for me. I'm just trying to see.
It's always been that. It's just the problem is that we live in a time where, social media and where we are, stuff like that. Now it's become even more business because these guys have become more of a brand for themselves. They get to market themselves more, right? They get to put themselves out there more. So they are a product. In addition to me playing for the Clippers, in addition to me playing for the Cavs, I also sell sneakers. And I don't just sell sneakers for Nike. I sell my own sneakers. I don't just sell cologne for Calvin Klein. I sell my own cologne. So I've become more of a brand of myself, in addition to working with the Cleveland Cavaliers, working for the Cleveland Cavaliers, or working with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So in addition to doing that, so basketball, which is what got me here, almost becomes secondary. And because it becomes secondary, you kind of lose track of what the product is. And a lot of these guys, they forget that, I'm here. Am I actually here to play and be a great player? Or am I here to get paid and play 10 years and get out of here? Like, this is a job. I'm going to play 10, 12 years, and then I'm going to get out of here. Which one is it more? So it seems to me like these guys are more concerned than I feel like they're more concerned with getting theirs and getting out.
You know what? If you could change, like, if you can change the destiny for your family's family, take care of it. Take care of it every single time. The way I see pro sports in America is a great wealth redistribution process. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Definitely.
Because ideally, the way this is supposed to work is as LeBron becomes a billionaire, he creates 100 new millionaires with him, right? And ideally, if you don't blow it all, damn.
LeBron is doing a pretty good job from what I see.
LeBron is.
I don't know the exact numbers, but LeBron,
Carter, Clutch Sports, all the enterprise that grows up around that, those, because within those organizations you have Black leadership, then the Black leadership trickles down to more Black leadership, more Black entrepreneurs, create a better example, then it just completely shifts. I don't say completely shifts, but it works very well to shift the paradigm of white dominated businesses in America. So it's a great way for the money to trickle away from white billionaires and to create Black billionaires.
Yo, Penn in the last 5 days since we've seen you, man, you read a little autobiography of Malcolm X, and where do we go from here by MLK? Man, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. I was hearing. I heard the LeBron conversation. This is way different. I love this. W Pen. All right,
Cooper gonna come in and ruin all that.
Right, that's a fact. He gonna get a $500 million contract going right back to Maine, where he already got hidden family, already got money. Look, Pen, this, you know what this is all? This is all.
swipe.
This is all just a ghost screen. This is all a ghost screen for chill. No, Ron, because you let it go on for almost an hour. We have gone a whole hour without talking about chill. A whole hour for a 5 for 18 3-point performance.
Oh my god!
And we haven't talked about it at all. That's crazy.
Hold on, so we about to get into this like right now. Before we do that, salute to everybody that's in here. Y'all already know the drill. Y'all rocking with the panel because y'all here every single day. So you know what I'm about to say. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Shout out to our Hall of Famers, Hutton Gilgores, Multi-Kinney, and Cobra Son of Raditz. And it's just a good day to talk about the NBA, y'all. Before we do anything, Jay got game sent through a super chat. He said, first off, dub Knicks. Hate to say it, but Chill might be right with his love for this Cavs team. Defensive, or for the Cavs, this team defensively is a well-oiled machine, but this team is mostly the same. Is this because of Kenny Atkins? Did Kenny Atkinson change the team?
Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley has changed that team. But Kenny deserves a lot of credit too. But Evan Mobley's evolution has been crazy.
If you think about what the teams, the best teams in the NBA have been over the last like decade, I mean, think about the Warriors with Steph, Clay, Dre, Harrison Barnes before they got KD. You know, they got those guys in the draft and they built that. And those guys were together for a long time. Same thing with the Boston Celtics. You got Jayson Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Robert Williams, you got Marcus Smart, you got those guys in the draft. And that the crew was together for a long time. Before Donovan Mitchell came over to that crew, you had Isaac Okoro, you had Evan Mobley, you had Darius Garland, right? So they're building this thing through the draft because Cleveland is one of those places very much like Minnesota, very much like San Antonio, where you're not going to get a big time free agent. More times than not, you're going to have to build this thing through the draft. And what I saw what Cleveland was doing, I was a big fan of Evan Mobley when he came out of college anyway. I thought he was going to be the rookie of the year. With that being said, the direction that this team is going in, with Kenny Atkinson now at the helm, like him playing both Jared Allen and he'll switch off, like last night, for example, he'll play Jared Allen and then he'll play Evan Mobley. He won't play them together as much. And I immediately thought about what Mars told me, where you just take Evan Mobley, put Evan Mobley at the 5. I don't love it, but it's an experiment that Kenny Atkinson is playing with, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't. And I mean, I like the growth of this unit more than anything. That's why I liked them last year. And then you add in Donovan Mitchell. You add almost like you add in an adult. That's basically what it was with this crew. You had a bunch of kids that were growing, and then you add in an adult to add to what they're already doing, who's still young enough to still relate to the crew. It's not like you got an older player. No, you got a guy that's right around these guys' age, but he's been in the league a little bit longer and a better player. So it's working. It's working. I said it already. I'm on record saying it. I would not be surprised if the Cavs are in the East Finals this year. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, man. Maybe. For sure. Possible.
I mean, and shout out to Darius Garland for a huge bounce back. He's been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that missed the game,
their best defensive player, look at that,
got blew out by the Cavs last night from start to finish. The Cavs beat up on the Lakers 134-110. And in large part, this was behind Penn. Well, Penn just shouted out Darius Garland, but Jared Allen was the star last night. He had 20 points, 17 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And the Cavs have improved to 5-0, fellas.
How did he get past after a second best player so quickly? Because Jared Allen consistently has been like a really good player for them. Great regular season player.
Sure.
But I think because people are expecting the Evan Mobley lead, that people kind of just jump Jared Allen.
He wasn't a high lottery pick.
Yeah. He's cold. He's a good player.
One of the things about Jared Allen I really like is Jared Allen is one of those players who stays within himself. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't know how to do. He's really good around the basket. He's one of the best rim runners in the league. Last night was a prime example of that. Remember what we just talked about a couple of days ago with Brooklyn, with Claxton and Schroeder? That's basically what was going on last night. I'm sorry. Jared Allen was around the rim. Darius Garland is dropping the ball off to him. He's right in the mid post. He's hitting floaters. Not only is he hitting floaters, he's getting dunks. He's playing within himself. He's not playing outside of himself. And I feel like that's when he's at his best. The problem is that when you get into playoffs, when you play against better teams, you're gonna have to raise your level of play. Can he do that? That's the $1 million question. Plus, on top of that, he ended up the way he played in the playoffs, just like Mobley did. The way he ended up playing in the playoffs, and then last year he didn't play in the playoffs, so he kind of gets overlooked.
Let me give Mars and Swipe a crazy stat. Jared Allen shooting 81.7% true shooting. Karis LeVert shooting 81% true shooting. Karis LeVert has an 8.7 box plus minus. Jared Allen is a 6.9. Both are leading their team. But we are giving a lot of credit, of course, to Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley because of the media and Darius Garland. But like shout outs to the Cavs role players. They are super great.
Yes.
And Karis LeVert has been crazy. Like to the people who still prescribe to PER, Jared Allen's at 30. What?
I mean,
where
was he on the ESPN list? He was like in the 70s.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
He was,
this is
like 20 spots below Derek Lively or something.
But wasn't 2 years ago Chris Boucher top 10 for like the first like 15 games of the year in PER or something like that? Because he was having like super efficient. Like
PER sucks. Like,
well, no, it doesn't suck. I'm just saying like the context for a big that's
heavily over prioritizes rebounding,
and efficient scoring big, like all that kind of stuff. I mean, they deserve it. Like
but I mean, every analytic is checking out for Jared Allen. His EPM checks out. His BPM checks out. Literally, like if the eye test checks out, he's been dominant. He's controlling that painted area. He's a wrecking ball on offense. He's been super efficient, playing right within himself. He's so underrated.
Playing like a all-star.
He's only 26 too.
He probably should be an all-star. The way he's playing right now, honestly, he
made it 2 years ago.
I'm gonna just put this out there. If the Cavs and Celtics continue to be this far ahead of the rest of the East, I got no problem with both teams having three all-stars. I got no problem with that.
That's funny how that for some teams, not others, but I don't.
I wanted to. I wanted to put Cleveland. I actually wanted to put Cleveland at 2, but it's very similar to Coach Belichick when he had Tom Brady and Bledsoe, and he knew Tom Brady was the guy, but he couldn't start him yet because they had just signed Bledsoe, but he was like, "This is really the guy." That's how I feel about Cleveland. I think
it's just a small market bias, Chill. Like that's what we're not talking about Cleveland. We're not talking about them being 5-0 to start the season. We're not talking about this team. We're not talking about Jared Allen because it's just all the biases. If Jared Allen was doing this shit in New York, he'd be considered like the best center in the NBA.
It'd be MVP talks with him. It would be. If Jared Allen,
it would at least be MIP talks, but it would be definitely All-Star, All-NBA.
If we had a dude in New York,
not MVP.
Mars.
I mean, when Jokic is doing what he's doing,
crazy, Mars? Did I not? I want to make sure.
Chill. Here's the line, and then you just be like, "Oh, I'm just jump over here."
Really?
Yes.
Is it really? Because did I not in 2010 see Amari Stoudemire go on a run and MVP? They talking about him. So Jared Allen is in New York. If Jared Allen is in New York and we're seeing 20 and 15 games, we're seeing 22
Knicks fans were giving Jeremy Lin MVP chance.
They would be screaming.
But that doesn't mean you're in MVP.
No.
That just means the fans are calling you an MVP. Brooklyn fans be chanting MVP when Cam Thomas.
I mean, I see Tatum get MVP chance in Boston. So I mean, he's not gonna win.
Players get MVP chance.
Yeah, that's what happened. Anthony Edwards gets MVP chance in Minnesota.
Even with that being said, if there was to be an MVP of this team, like let's say they do the whole Celtics thing. Let's give them that whole example, and they win 65 games and all of that good stuff. They finish at the top of the league. It would be Donovan Mitchell.
But
your best scorer is always going to get the MVP.
The advanced stats don't agree, man. I don't know, man. I gotta look at.
Well, I'm saying, but Chill, if you think Evan Mobley is going to be like a top 25 player, then are you change your Jared Allen approximation? Then, like, since Jared
Allen was Mars and I had this conversation before you showed up. Mars, where did I have Jared Allen last
MVP?
year?
He wasn't the best.
He had him on the All-Star team.
I thought he should have made the All-Star team last year. I did. I thought we had ran down the list. I thought he should have made the All-Star team last year. So I don't look sideways at Jared Allen. Jared Allen, when they handed him over, I understand it was for James Harden, but he was exactly what they needed in Brooklyn. He was exactly what they needed in Brooklyn.
No, that wasn't James Harden. That was because of Kyrie. Kyrie and KD.
It was a 3-team deal, and Karis LeVert ended up in Cleveland. He was exactly what they needed.
DeAndre Jordan got a $40 million deal at 33.
Yeah, he was exactly what they needed. But to your point, I mean, I love everything that's going on in Cleveland. I do. I love everything that they're doing in Cleveland. I think that they're one of the better teams in the East. I don't think that they're a championship team, but I do think that they're a legit contender in the Eastern Conference.
Why not? What stops them from being a championship team?
Boston.
Other than the Celtics.
Yep.
That's a huge.
They have no chance of beating Boston.
I mean, it's a big reason why.
I think the Patriots have a better chance of beating Boston than they do. That's only because of matchups. So
you damn right.
The
no,
Pacers,
you don't.
beat Boston,
No,
right?
no, Ron.
Damn
You don't get to talk about Hallie anymore. You don't get to talk about Hallie anymore.
Yeah,
no,
I do. Yeah,
you abandoned that
Hey,
shit.
we'll get to that.
What was the score with 3 minutes to go? What was the score with 3 minutes to go? Do you know?
It was 120. It was like one. It was what 117.
ESPN probability had. Hold on, just
15.
ESPN probability said it was 99.
I know
7%. Like,
but did you see what they did down the stretch of that game though? But did you see how they weren't even getting into an offense? They were just doing one-on-one. They would get a switch at the top. It would be Hallie one-on-one, or it'd be Pascal one-on-one. It made bench. I mean, bro, like it made no sense.
Boston had a cold shooting night. That's it. You take this many threes, you're gonna have a game.
That's what I said was gonna happen.
That's all it is. You 1 out of every 6 games is gonna look like this. The other 5 are gonna be blowouts.
But they should have won though, Penn. They should have won.
It takes.
They shouldn't have won.
You need to lose 4 times to lose a playoff series. Boston's betting that they're not going to have cold shooting streaks with that talent. They're not.
No, I agree. That's
but
fine.
If they're shooting hot, you're not beating them.
Yeah, they're the math team. They are the math team. They will probably win the title because of math. I have no issue with that. I'm talking about hoops, like basketball. There were poor basketball decisions made yesterday after that fourth quarter. Jayson Tatum made that first 3, the step back, clean. I was like, that's nice. I like to see that, Tatum. Love to see that from you. And then I got on playback with Chill.
Yes, you did.
And we both came to the. How many threes did he have in overtime?
You came in to hate?
No, I wanted to talk to Chill, but then I was going to call him, but then I see he was on playback, and so I just jumped in on playback, and it just made more sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
To hate.
It wasn't even to hate. No, I'm sorry. I'm sick of this. I'm not pushing this narrative anymore. Jayson Tatum, top 10 player. There's no hate. It's a criticism. This is a fair criticism. Is it not a fair criticism? It's not a fair criticism to say he built like Calvin Johnson with a Jordan Poole shot profile. That's it.
I just think your criticism.
That's not a fair criticism. No, I'm saying.
I just think your criticism with him is a bit more loud and excessive than with other players.
But who? But I criticize
the rest
LeBron
of the NBA.
Hold on. I criticize LeBron for when he makes mistakes. I criticize Kawhi when he makes mistakes. I criticize KD for can't pass the ball. Devin Booker can't pass. Anthony Edwards can't pass on a double team. Joel Embiid gets criticized by me. I'm not an Embiid hater no more because I was defending him against David Robinson, apparently, who's a dropper himself. And then I criticize Giannis Antetokounmpo. I criticized Luka, said he couldn't play defense. And then we had a whole argument yesterday, like, oh, well, it's just a scheme designed for him to get blown by. And then all this other stuff. And I even criticized Joker for when he doesn't step up. People were like, Joker's not going to be able to do this all year. He's the best player in the world. You got to do it. Stop making excuses. Just do it. You got to shoot a lot of shots. So Tatum's the only person that doesn't get a chance to get criticized by me because it's hate.
Oh, that's not true.
No, Swiper. No, Mars. All the criticism that Tatum gets, I'm sorry, he deserves it.
Yeah, but
he
you're also a hater.
No, here's the thing. You guys say that he's better than SGA. SGA gives it to you every night. Pause. SGA comes with it every single night. Even last night he had an off game, but he still came with it. You guys say he's better than KD. KD comes with it every night. You guys say he's better than Wally Brown out of this because it looks like there's some aging going on. You guys say he's better than Luka. You say he's better than Luka. Not only Chill says that, it's other people that said, but it's still Ox says it. Ox says it. Ox says it and he believes it. I'm saying we put Jayson Tatum in this category. You can't have inconsistent play like he does. The only thing he does consistently is play inconsistent. That's
No,
all.
that's
That's
not
the only
true.
thing he does consistently.
You guys wait for the Jayson Tatum bad game and then be like, "See, inconsistent." Like,
He is inconsistent. I don't know. Well, that's not new criticism.
If Jayson Tatum had the exact same game that Shea had yesterday,
which
you
was
would have
not
said
great.
inconsistent. That's what you would have done.
No, I'm sick.
But yeah,
I'm sick of this.
but for
This
Shea,
is narrative spinning. This is narrative spinning. This is just narrative spinning again. I just want to talk about this one game. Can we stay in this one game instead of doing this whataboutism nonsense? This is what I'm talking about. And I'm sick of Mars. I'm sick of Mars coming to your aid and other people's aid. Talk to me. We talking about that game. We talking about one game. I don't want to talk about the rest of the NBA. Well, you know what? I can't wait to talk about how my GOAT defender is getting exposed by Karl Anthony Towns. I can't wait to have that conversation. Can't wait.
I'm talking to Ron.
I can't talk about JT right now because
you can't
I'm a
put
hater.
JT and SGA in the same category.
Yes,
What did
you
we
can.
do in the playoffs
Yes,
last
you
year, and what
can.
did the other do? JT literally
lose.
performed inconsistently the whole playoff run, but you guys
All you
still
talking about,
gassed
Ron,
him up to be a top 5 player. You guys still did that. No chill, no, it's not.
You guys is chill.
All it is. That's
But
all.
Shea, like this is my point.
Why am I talking about Shea and Pacers played the Celtics last night? You're talking to Ron. You're talking to Ron. You're talking to Ron.
Yes.
But I threw multiple names out there.
Yeah, but Shea is because Shea just didn't have a good game last night. But if Jayson Tatum had the series Shea had against the Pelicans last year, you would have called him inconsistent. But you're just
have that series.
and you call him inconsistent.
I know.
Shea does it. Oh, Shea brought it. Like that's my issue. Like I think Shea's better than Jayson Tatum. I think most of the names you said are better than Jayson Tatum. But you can't be like, oh, Shea always brings it.
Who's more consistent, Mars? Who's more consistent? Shea or JT? Who's more consistent?
I think Shea's more consistent.
But you did. So what are you talking about?
Because you said explicitly, your words were Shea didn't have a great shooting game last game, but he still brought it. Why can't I say the same thing to Jayson Tatum?
Hang on, Shea's role is more consistent too. It's not just him as a player.
Shea's asked to do
his
a more
role
consistent.
is more consistent.
He's not.
And honestly,
and Shea has to do more too.
No, he doesn't.
First
no,
of all,
he does not.
No, he doesn't. First of all,
no, he does not.
Tatum by far.
I'm so sick of this.
No. Hold on. I'm not up here like capping for Tatum, but fair is fair. Okay. The fact that he is able to let a Jaylen Brown or a Derek White or a Peyton Pritchard have a 30-piece is actually a testament to him being selfless enough to do that.
He doesn't let them do nothing.
I'm on Ron's side now.
What I'm talking about with Jayson Tatum. He does not let Peyton Pritchard make shots. He didn't let Peyton Pritchard make 8 threes the other night. Peyton Pritchard made 8 threes. He doesn't let Jaylen Brown get busy. Jaylen Brown gets busy.
Now. So let's reword that. Then,
I told you, Mars.
So let's reword that then, Ron, because this is the bullshit that makes me nuts with you. So let's reword that then, Ron. Does he create more shots for Peyton Pritchard? Does he create more shots for Jaylen Brown? Does he create more shots for Derek White, as opposed to letting them do the thing?
Create how? Create how? Like is he in the huddle with Joe Mazzulla drawing up the plays? Is that what you mean?
Is he a playmaker? That's what he's saying.
So which means that he creates more opportunities for these guys, which they don't do nearly as much for him. That is not my opinion. So that is a fact.
Okay, and let's flip it the other way. Because yes, I'm not going to say Jayson Tatum doesn't create opportunities with his playmaking and just quite frankly with his gravity too. But who's creating for him? The Finals MVP, Drew Holiday, a 2-time champion, Derek White, probably the best role player in the NBA, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, everybody out there, Peyton Pritchard too. You said he's the 6th man of the year. He has all these other people creating for him too.
Ain't no way I'm letting a Tyrese Halliburton super fan talk to me about consistency. My God, Ron.
Why do we move? No, Pin, don't do that because I'm saying that's how we get off the topic.
Halliburton's not consistent. We all agree.
And he's also
that's cool. That's fine.
We're also not saying that he's top 5.
We all agree.
That's my problem.
Who's consistent?
We all agree on that.
I want to know who's consistent. If Tatum's not consistent, who's consistent? Tell me who is consistent. Name one player that you think is consistent. What is your definition?
On a Tuesday, this is him.
Is Jokic consistent?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Great.
Let's get. Come on.
Okay.
No, you could no. Pin, you're gonna pull the game log. Don't do that. Because you're gonna get exposed. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like,
I'm saying don't do it. I'm saying don't do it. Don't pull it up. Because you're gonna get exposed. Don't do that. Because if you pull up the 4-16 game, then we're gonna be explaining why from down over. Like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Consistency?
Yeah, KD, Kevin Durant is consistent.
Because Ron is the one who set the bar of Jayson Tatum isn't consistent.
But no, wait, Mars. Let me just before you finish that. Let me just preface this, Mars. Mars, look at me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. This is what I'm saying, Mars. We were about to criticize the critique a basketball game from Jayson Tatum, and now we're on who is consistent in the league. You see how it's moved? This is what I'm talking about. This is crazy.
You don't just get to scream in the microphone.
In large part, that's because Ron did sidetrack.
Here, let me
hang on. Jayson Tatum.
God damn it. Okay, hold on. Now,
no, don't you take a name, man. Don't you take it, man. Don't you do that. Look,
I want to get.
Is it? Hold on.
As a Jokic fan, I am genuinely concerned about your mental health, Swiper. You need to chill the hell.
I'm good. If my microphone's still out, is it lower? Stop. Is it lower now?
Bro, breathe.
Is it lower?
Grass. Chill the hell out. Question: how many Thank God you muted him.
Oh, okay. Here we go. So here, let me turn it back up for you. Then shut up. So listen.
How many?
So this is what I'm trying to say. How is Jayson Tatum? How is Jayson Tatum not allowed to get criticized for one game? And now we're moving the conversation.
I tried to ask my question, and now we're on.
All right, Mars, you ask your question first.
Like, my God, please don't.
Mars, you ask your question first. Then Pim, we're gonna get your question. Swiper, let them get this off.
Okay.
Well, my question is for Ron. So, because Ron's the one who's brought up the consistency point. So, if we're going to have this, if we're having this discussion, we should at least have the parameters of what consistency is set. So, Ron, what defines consistency? When you say a player is inconsistent, what are they not doing consistent?
So, with Jayson Tatum, his consistency.
No. A player. When a
just in
general.
A player is okay. So, consistency. Yes. Is playing to your floor level every night at least.
Can you be a superstar who has 4 points?
No,
you can't.
Don't say that.
No,
don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Who has 6 points?
Don't do this. Don't do this.
You can't do that, right?
4 points in that game against Detroit, right?
That's
yes, he's going to reference these games, and everyone knows why Jokic does this on purpose, by the way, which makes no sense. Because he wasn't even missing shots. That's what I'm saying. Like, bring up someone else. There are great examples to use. Many of them.
This is why I wanted to measure, because it has to be more than points.
Honestly, Swiper, right? just so you can calm your nerves right now, I think Jokic right now has been the best player in the league.
I'm not. There is no nerve. But I'm saying comparing Tatum's consistency to Jokic isn't going to go. It's just not going to work. That's what I'm saying. Don't just go somewhere else.
They're both the best players on the last 2 championship teams. Jokic is a model of consistency. I think most people agree that Jokic is consistent. What I'm trying to say is that when you have a team as good as the Boston Celtics, where you have legit first options like Jaylen Brown, you could have a night where you shoot like 2 for 12 and just play really great defense. I'm gonna make a case right now that Jayson Tatum is consistent. Bear with me. 100%. How many to y'all out there who just don't know, and maybe in the chat you can let me know, how many single-digit scoring games do you think Jayson Tatum had last year?
He's gonna shoot
0.
He's gonna shoot
1.
He's gonna shoot enough.
Okay, he had 1. He had 1. Hang on. And it was hold on. And he hold on.
What's the efficiency consistent?
Bear with me for a second. And he played 15 minutes in that game, and he shot 2 for 6. So when Jayson Tatum has played over 16 minutes, when Jayson Tatum has played over 16 minutes, he is at minimum had 15 points. Okay, at minimum, he's on 15 points. Now, how many games do you think Nikola Jokic had last year?
He had 4, and 2 of them were games he got ejected, and the other one was when
perfectly fine. He played over 15 minutes in all of them. My point is, neither one of these players is inconsistent. Neither one of them, but one of them is a much better defender. Hang on, and that defensive intensity that Tatum plays with does not wane and wap. Like it's not like all over the place. Tatum is almost every single night. He's a really good defender. So that inconsistency, we're not measuring that in the box score. We're not measuring the nights where Jokic comes out and blocks 2 shots and is really consistent, and the nights where he doesn't get back in defense. We're not measuring that as consistency. That is consistency too.
No, we're not doing that. What Ron is measuring when he goes 3 for 11, and then he goes 8 for 11, and then he goes 6 for 9, and then he goes 2 for 10. That's consistent for Ron. So
that's the nature of being a 3-point shooter. Look
but
at
that's why I wanted to get to the bottom of what consistency was.
Why don't you take a player that takes a ton of threes as a model for Tatum? Because Tatum is in an offense with a coach who is in love with 3-pointers. Joe Mazzulla loves threes. He sleeps with a pillow that has a big 3 on it. So if Joe Mazzulla loves threes,
do you fight that?
It's not. It's not a lie. What you think? You think Tatum just went into Joe Mazzulla and be like, "Yo, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna break the record for threes every single night. That's what we're gonna do." No, that's Joe Mazzulla's philosophy. Joe Mazzulla wants to do it, and Tatum is happy to oblige because shit, he loves to shoot threes. My point is, you take how many 0 for 9, 1 for 12 games has Steph had? How many is Steph inconsistent? No, jump shooting is inconsistent. You know a player who's never going to be inconsistent? A guy like Paolo Banchero.
Do you know the difference
goes to the basket?
But do you know the difference between Steph and Jayson Tatum? It's a big difference.
Sure. What's the difference?
Hey, Swiper, what's he built like?
Oh, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah. That's the difference.
So
okay, so
you are a business.
Nothing to do with anything.
No, what do you mean? He shouldn't not. He doesn't. It is.
I just want to talk about last night's game.
And that's the problem. Why? No, this ties into last night.
A jump shooter.
He doesn't have to. I'm not saying that he shouldn't take. Jayson Tatum got a sweet jump shot.
You said the same thing I just said.
Yeah.
So why is Tyrese Halliburton so inconsistent?
Okay, yeah.
Does he take a lot of jumpers?
Yes, but once again, Tyrese Halliburton does not have Jayson Tatum's build. He's not Jayson Tatum.
My Lord. So we're gonna judge a guy because he got into the gym and he built himself up into a 6'8" brick shit house, and you're gonna be like, well, that means he should always make his jumpers. What the hell?
No.
He's saying he shouldn't settle for as many jumpers as he takes.
There's no way Jayson Tatum should be shooting.
No superstar in the league has more help than Jayson Tatum. My view on this is when you have this many great players, you got to let people eat. So,
and that means shooting 18 threes. That's letting people eat shooting 18 threes.
That's by design, Ron.
No, it's not.
100%.
Don't sit here and tell me the end of the fourth quarter overtime by design. Don't tell me that was by design. No. I've been quiet. I've been quiet for 5 minutes. I wanted to talk about the Pacers game. Mar, I laughed earlier because you rolled your eye. I wasn't laughing at you, Penn. I was just laughing because Mar's rolling his eye. No, stop it. You're not chill because this is the thing. Because you got a chance to sleep on it for the last 12 hours. You did not say the reason why he did what he did at the end of the fourth quarter in overtime because Joe Mazzulla drew that up. He did that. He decided to take those unneeded 3-pointers when he had easy opportunities to drive to the basket. I'm talking about last night's game, and now we're talking about consistency around the league. Okay, and Marge started this. I just wanted to talk about Tatum last night, and Marge was like, you're a known Tatum hater.
This is your fault, Mars.
Let's discuss Jayson Tatum last night.
I still haven't said anything.
So let's discuss Jayson Tatum last night. Who, for every one shot he made at the long ball line, he missed 6. For every one of them he missed 6 of them. So
wait, what? He was 5 of 18. 5 of 18.
He missed 3. He missed.
No. I'm sorry, he missed 3. I apologize. So for every one he made, he missed 3. All right. So with that being said, the Boston Celtics.
No, it's still more than it's a 4.2 roughly. Yeah.
So 4. So almost 4.
That's 25%. Yeah, that's difference. Yeah.
It's about 3.5.
This team.
Let's figure the numbers out, y'all. So you do the math. It's fine.
Chill. Go ahead, chill.
Wait. 6 for 18 is a third. So for every one shot he made, he missed 3.
I told you it was about 3. Like I'm
about
this
3,
3.46. No, it was about 3. I was right. UK education.
This team, because what Swiper is trying to sell me, and we talked about it last night. What Swiper is trying to sell me that this is solely on Jayson Tatum putting his head down and going to the rim. I just want you to know this is based solely on Jayson Tatum living behind the long ball line. Shot 18 threes last night. He's had games where he shot 15 threes. What I'd like for you guys to tell me is if you see a team, Ron, you've played basketball before. Ron, if there's plays designed for you to shoot layups and you're smoking the layups, what's going to ultimately happen, Ron? You're ultimately going to come out of the game. Is that correct? Because you're killing us.
Depends on who it is.
Yeah, if I'm a star player, no.
If you're a star player, you're not coming out of the game. Why, Ron? Because it's by design. That's why.
No.
Yes.
No, when you're a star player, you get leeway to do whatever you want for the most part.
I want Chill to get to the point he's getting to.
Can I please get to the point?
Yes.
As I was saying, so last night, if I'm watching the Boston Celtics, Jayson Tatum shoots 18 threes. If a coach sees a guy who's shooting that many shots and he's not gotten it going and he's not doing anything else, he's killing us, right? So he's got to come off the floor. Jayson Tatum does not come off the floor. And the reason why he does not come off the floor, because he does other things in addition to shooting the basketball.
What does that got to do with him shooting the ball, which is what I'm talking about specifically? Chill, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's discuss him shooting the ball specifically. Swiper, when he first came into the league, he averaged 3 threes a game.
Oh my gosh.
3, right? When he first came into the league, he averaged 3 threes a game. That went from 3 to almost 7 to 8 to 9. This year, he's shooting 12 threes. You think he just turned into a long ball shooter? He didn't. That's by design.
Why am I talking about his career progression?
I got you back on this. Hold on. Is
Anthony?
Okay, how many single-digit games did Anthony Edwards have? Guess.
Last season?
Like 8.
I'm gonna say 4.
7. How many single-digit scoring games did Steph have last year? I'm just using guys who are really great players who take a lot of jumpers.
Steph had like 3.
4. So you're very close. Mars has got that basketball reference in his brain. Might as well call it Mars reference. My point is, Jayson Tatum, per my numbers, is a better defender than every player I just talked about. Every night. Yes. Every night. Jayson Tatum's a better defender than Ant. He's a better defender than Jokic. He's a better defender than Steph. So in addition to that, he's also a massive jump shooter. He's a guy who takes a ton of threes. My point is, he's more consistent than all of those players. How the fuck are we talking about him being inconsistent?
He's
why do people hate on Jayson Tatum so much? I need to understand this. Is it because
he's not a more consistent shooter? He's not a more consistent shooter.
Okay, so
I get the point Penn's making. Penn's saying his defense is at the same defense. His defense doesn't really fluctuate. His passing, like all of that stuff, is pretty much there on a night-to-night basis. But because he shoots so many threes, his scoring efficiency is going to be inconsistent. Just like every other high volume 3-point shooter.
That's I think people just don't like him. I think people just don't like him.
Which I understand.
People think he's corny, and he plays for the Celtics, and you know what I mean? Like I think people just don't like him, and they're looking for reasons to call him something that he's not. So let's be fair about what he is. If you want to say he's an inconsistent jump shooter, sure. But he's not an inconsistent player because there's more to being a player than being a jump shooter. He does a lot of
Can I tell you what my problem is
every night. Can I tell you what my problem is with Tyrese Halliburton? You don't play no defense. And he's super inconsistent.
And How the hell know that? And we all know that.
But he made
I've acknowledged these things. I've been critiquing Tyrese this week. I talked about Tyrese yesterday. I talked about Tyrese today. But I've talked about Tyrese every single day of this week.
Of course you have. Because you're a super fan.
No, because people ask me about Tyrese because they say, well, Ron, what's up with your boy Tyrese? And I've come up here and I said, he has to play better. He has to do this better. He has to stop doing that skipping shit. He got to be more aggressive. The offense has to be faster. This, that, and the third. I criticized Tyrese too. Morris, we talked about Shea having a bad game. When we talk about that, I'm going to criticize him too. Stop. Why are you shooting 10 threes, Shea? Especially if they're not going in. If they're not going in, Shea, get to your spots where your shots typically go in. My thing with Jayson Tatum is it's not the fact I love Jayson Tatum's game. I think Jayson Tatum's a baller. The reason why I criticize Jayson Tatum is because you guys literally put him on a pedestal up there with the KDs, with the Sheas, with Joel Embiid's, all of this. I've heard he's better than all of these guys. I've heard that Jayson Tatum's on Giannis's level.
KD's
what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, KD's still tough.
But KD's great, but like I think it's okay to say that guys like Jayson Tatum are on the level of a KD right now.
That's my problem. If you're on that level, I need you to hoop like you're on that level every night. Because he hoops like he's on that level.
Jayson Tatum had 37 points last night, y'all. And so this is why this
we're not doing the box score.
This is so dumb to me.
No, we're not doing the box score.
If this was a fair criticism of Tatum, we would have a very objective conversation about what should have gone differently last night. But because it's Jayson Tatum and he's become, I'm going to be real with you, one of these most overprotected players in the sport, because as soon as I brought this up, Boston fans were like, he had 37, he did this and that. And we went on a whole soliloquy last 25 minutes about nothing to protect the fact that he shouldn't have did what he did in the fourth quarter and overtime. I'll tell you what, if this is how some of y'all and others are going to defend Jayson Tatum, I have no more critiques for Joel Embiid. None.
Swipe.
Hallelujah.
None. None. Period. No more. Period. No more. Period. Because there are reasons. There are legitimate reasons why Joel Embiid, with all the stuff that's being talked about, why he underperforms in every single playoff run. Therefore, he deserves to not be criticized anymore at all, because more than likely his scoring regression in the fourth quarter of second round has everything to do with the fact that he's injured and nothing to do with anything else. And so, therefore, there's no more criticism. Because now, trying to open up a conversation about Tatum last night, and then now we're talking about who's inconsistent in the league. What? But what about his defense, Chill? What about his connected passing, Chill? What about his rim defense, Chill? Like, that's crazy.
Right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about last night.
Covered the Denver Nuggets. I would assume you think defense is crazy.
Let's talk about the fact that
again, a random, no reason, no name, right? Just put it up shot that went nowhere for no reason whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense.
This isn't anything new.
Just bringing up points to bring up points. Pin, get your own bag. That makes no sense. I've never said that. Not once.
Is that the point that I'm making is that we've seen this from Jayson Tatum. We've seen this guy shoot ill-advised threes. We've seen Jayson Tatum take bad shots. This isn't anything new.
No, Chill. Okay, that's cool.
However, let's discuss last night the fact that Indiana's best rim protector wasn't in the game, and they shot 48 threes last night. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss the fact that the Boston Celtics, over these last 5 games, they average 94 shots a game. 49 of them are threes. That means that they're shooting more than half of their shots are long balls. This is who this team is. Last night, Jaylen Brown. What was he? 3 for 11? Jayson Tatum.
He was 1 for 11. He needs to get off the long ball line too. Hey, the same thing applies to him. I'm keeping it fair. The same thing applies that applies to Jayson Tatum applies to Jaylen Brown.
But also,
what we gonna do this every time the Celtics have an inevitably cold shooting night from 3?
No.
When they lose their 16 games and go 60, what is that? 66 and 16. When they go 66 and 16 and they lose 16 games because they have a cold shooting night from 3.
We're gonna do this 16.
Are we gonna have to be here the next day talking about they shoot?
No, they're gonna win the title more than likely. This has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about one game, the decision that could have been made differently to win yesterday's basketball game.
Now, I'm talking to Ron.
Oh, okay, my bad. We're just,
I got 3-point line too. They win doing this. So every time they lose, Ron, are you going to say the same thing? Every time they lose.
And they don't just shoot 18 threes.
They don't just win. And
Ron, just so you know, Ron, they don't just win games.
They won the NBA championship doing this.
So Jayson Tatum has shot 18 threes before.
No, what I said was typically when they lose, Jayson Tatum's going to have double-digit threes. 18, I don't know. Probably not. Every game doesn't go to overtime.
That's literally what I'm criticizing. Why are you shooting 18 threes?
Because his game went to overtime, so he took about 4 more threes in overtime.
Okay.
Normally, we took 14.
Okay, so Morris, check it out. We got the overtime. I'm not making threes. Should I keep doing that?
And I'm telling you, the Celtics are going to
shooters got to keep shooting.
I think so. If they keep doing that, I'm going to criticize them.
Okay,
if the threes aren't going in, if the threes aren't going, the same way I criticize the Rockets
for a singular game.
What was your criticism when he shot 98% true shooting in the first game?
Keep shooting. If you're making them, keep shooting them. If you're not,
he was 8 of 11 that game. That was obviously an aberration.
If you're making them, shoot them. Like
teams are not.
He's also an aberration when he was 1 of 8.
He's shooting above league average on significantly higher than league average.
Was he shooting above league average last night, Penn?
No,
it doesn't matter. This is a small.
It doesn't matter. Then what's the point of criticizing game by game for any player in the league? Then that doesn't make any sense to me.
You shouldn't make overarching You shouldn't make overarching statements about a player. You can criticize one game. You can say Jayson Tatum was not great last night. You cannot say what Jayson Tatum did last night is an indictment on his entire game.
Wait. Hold on. How? So, just to be clear, don't make indictments on players' games of how they could improve overall as a player holistically that would get them to a higher place among their contemporaries.
Did I say that?
So I'm trying to understand. So I'm saying, are we not allowed? Are we not? So we're not allowed.
Right, but you don't need to reinterpret.
I don't speak Mandarin. I can speak a little Greek and a little Hebrew. That's it. I cannot speak Mandarin. So I'm trying to understand a little bit of Spanish. Puerto Rico, shout out. I'm trying to understand, like, how do we get to this situation where we're trying to talk about Tatum and the things he could get better at yesterday, and there are things that he could be doing, Chill, I think you agree with me, that would make him the best player in the world. There are things that he could add to his game to get to that level. There could. I'm saying ostensibly, Mars. There are ways that he could do that.
Had a cold shooting night.
There is no Pin versus Swiper. I don't want to be versus this guy. Go ahead. What'd you say? What'd you say, Pin?
Thank you for pausing there. Jayson Tatum had a cold shooting night. Jayson Tatum could have had better shot selection. I don't think anyone here is disagreeing with that. I don't think Chill would disagree with that. Jayson Tatum probably.
Well, Chill did disagree. He said that's their system. That's what he said.
It is their system. So he's not lying.
Yeah, but
where the defenses come up is when you use a one single game, and say Jayson Tatum's inconsistent. Because that's an indictment.
That's what Ronald said. That the host of PC.
Then the criticism is to frankly both of you, because it's you two really who are on this side, and that's what
it's a panel. It's called the panel, so we're all up here.
No, but I'm pointing at you two, saying that's what y'all are saying.
What are Ron and I are not saying the same thing.
Yeah, I've been talking to Ron. My disagreement
to
you, Ron and I sound alike. That what it is? Because I haven't said nothing. I haven't said a word that Ron said. Not one. Go ahead, Chill.
Let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the bottom of last night, right? Let's get to the bottom of this Boston Celtics team and who they are. And this is not something what we saw last night that's not going to happen again. It's going to happen again. I saw Jayson Tatum shoot 17 threes in a game. I saw that. That's not something that's out there. That's not something that's out the blue. I've seen him do that. I've also seen him go 7 for 15 from the long ball line. I saw him go 6 for 9 from the long ball line. This whole system that the Boston Celtics run, it's to shoot the long ball. I think, and I'm not on the fence about this, I think that if Joe Mazzulla could have a game where his team shot only long balls, he would do it. 100% he would do it.
No problem.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I watched Jayson Tatum get to the rim and throw the ball out to Derek White at the long ball line when he could have scored. That's by design. I don't think that that's just him not looking at the rim not to score. That's 100%.
Yeah, sure. The Nuggets did that. They threw it out to Aaron Gordon underneath the post when they had a wide open dunk. Yeah, they're trying to create more threes.
And that's the point. So he does get to the rim. He does score at the rim. However, the fact that he shoots the long ball and then a lot of those shots don't go in, and because they don't go in, it just looks like it's bad. That's the system. That's what the system is, and it's by design. It's not just Jayson Tatum is just deciding to shoot threes. No, this is part of what they do.
SGA is trying to incorporate.
Not only do I know it's working, they won the NBA championship doing this.
Man, but this is what I'm talking about, though, Chill. Like, that's crazy. So because they're more than likely going to win the NBA championship, that then takes it to we are not allowed to disagree or rebuttal based on how they're performing. But that's what this went to. This is where this went. It went from, let's talk about last night's game. This is just what they do. This is just their play style.
Let's stay right here. And
it's been 30 minutes. We haven't even got a chance to say, hey, maybe if he does this when he was isolated on Tyrese Halliburton, or maybe Derek White, who has Tyrese Halliburton on it and was cooking all game, maybe he should have just went straight to the rim, went to the free throw line more, and they probably could have won the game because they would have got more fouls, more free throws, stopped the game, all that stuff. And then Jayson Tatum missed a free throw down the stretch. And then Jaylen Brown missed 2 free throws down the stretch, and they lost by 3 points. So if he makes a free throw, they win the game. Similarly, with Jokic, he missed the free throw, and because of that, instead of being down 2, he's down 3, changes what they do in the last possession. He tries to fake out and get a foul bait at a three-pointer, and they lose the game. If Joker makes a different decision, they might have won the game. 100%. It's that simple. That's a 100%. Fair criticism. But for some reason with Tatum, if I bring it up, it goes all over the place to something else.
No, we're staying right here. Let's stay with the game, right? Let's stay with the game. So the idea that him not getting to the rim, I saw him get to the rim last night, and I saw him turn the ball over in an attempt to get to the rim. Not because he can't, but because he was doing too much with the basketball at that particular point. He had the kid's name. He had Jackson on the left wing, and he's throwing the ball between his legs a bunch of different times, tried to spin, turn the basketball over. I see him. He has Tyrese Halliburton on him on the right wing, tries to go to the rim, turns the basketball over. He gets to the rim. But when he gets to the rim, there are times when I saw him in the middle of the third quarter. Derek White is in the right corner, wide open. Jayson Tatum can score the basketball at the rim. But instead, what does he do? He throws the ball out to Derek White. Why is that by design? That's by design because the system suggests that if I hit more threes than you hit twos, we'll win the game. And that's what Joe Mazzulla is doing, which would explain why this team in particular shoots 94 shots a game and 49 of them are threes. That's more than half of their shots are three-pointers. That's the way that this team is designed. And Jayson Tatum, more times than not, which is why he doesn't come out of the game, more times than not is going to shoot the long ball. Sometimes it's going to go in. Sometimes it's not going to go in. Last night was evidence of that.
We got to move on. This has been exhausted to death.
All right, fellas. Well, all in all, the Indiana Pacers gave Boston their first loss of the season. It went into overtime, and the Pacers ended up outlasting the Boston Celtics 135-132 in overtime. The Pacers are underwhelming 2-3, and Boston is now 4-1. And the Pacers won in large part to a major game from Pascal Siakam. He had 29 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, made 6 threes, including a big-time 3 in overtime to basically ice the game.
Ron, I love this kid Neesmith, man. I do. I love everything about him. I love how gritty he is. I love how tough he is and how difficult he makes guys how tough he is on these guys and making them make shots. Now, sure, the whistle could be a little bit quick on him and he could be a little bit more disciplined on defense, but ultimately he's great at beating guys to spots. He is fantastic at disrupting rhythm. I love everything about this kid. He is necessary on that Indiana team. Halliburton, on the other hand, when I watch Halliburton, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Your point of attack defender, which should be your lead guard, your point of attack defender should be better. And Halliburton does not do that. And that's one of the major problems that the Indiana Pacers have right now. Their lead guard, who should be their point of attack defender, does not defend. And that's a problem.
Hallie got to get better on defense.
Well, he's not going to. I told you guys the Pacers would win.
You did tell me that, Mars. You said that the Celtics are going to go cold. When they go cold, the Indiana Pacers, and it ended up being a dogfight when it shouldn't have been. They were up 12 with 3 minutes. They were up 12 points with 3 minutes. That game ended up going into overtime because, one, Indiana can't take care of basketball. Two, their sets that they're in, they don't get anything good in them, especially in the meat and potatoes of the game. You got Obi Toppin that you're going to in the meat and potatoes of the game for a long ball in the corner when you're trying to hold on to the lead? No. And we already know how he is on defense. We already know what that looks like. So with all of that being said, the Celtics were able to get back in the game. And if this is an indication of who Indiana is, give me a break.
Let me just say one thing, because we've been talking a lot about Tatum. We haven't been talking about the Celtics. One of my major criticisms about the Boston Celtics going back to last year, and it's continued this year, they play down to their competition every night. Every night, in my opinion, this team goes in and dials up their effort based on who they're playing. And I turned on yesterday's game in the third quarter, and I saw the Celtics getting blown out. And I looked at that team, and I looked at Indiana, and I'm like, if there's one team that can come back from a 24-point deficit and close this gap, it is the Boston Celtics. And if there is one team that is going to give up a 24-point lead, it is the Indiana Pacers. So I immediately thought the Celtics are going to win this game, but it is an indication of their immaturity. And they have such an abundance of talent that they have not technically been tested. But I believe, in my opinion, that they will be tested this year if they face the OKC Thunder in the playoffs. And the OKC Thunder are, not a perfect basketball team, but once they get Isaiah Hartenstein back, I think that is going to be a very competent team. And I felt last year, if Jamal Murray was right, that the Denver Nuggets would have given Celtics a major test just based on matchups and what they can't do with Jokic.
I hated it. I did. I hated that matchup with the Celtics and the Nuggets. I did not like that matchup at all.
As a Boston Celtics fan, or
yeah.
Okay, so that's my point. So it's like we think about the Celtics right now because they're the champions, they're the reigning champions. We're like, they can't be beaten. This Joe Mazzulla thing is never. I disagree. I think jump shooters can go cold for extended periods. Shooting streaks, like I've seen players shoot 22% who are lights out shooters for an entire series. That shit can happen. You better hope it doesn't happen to one of your star players and they keep gunning, because Joe Mazzulla is going to keep gunning, and he could gun you out of a series against New York. And we could be talking about this, like, I don't know, 6-7 months from now, being like, damn, the Celtics got bounced in the second round. How'd that happen? That's the nature of jump shooting. I completely disagree with this notion that Jayson Tatum is inconsistent, because I define basketball as way more than just how you shoot or whatever the hell we're talking about. But I do think the Celtics' effort overall is way, way, way too dictated by who they play. Last year, they almost lost to the Detroit Pistons. There's no reason that should have ever happened. And it was like right down to the wire.
A couple of days ago. They was just in a dogfight with him a couple of days ago.
And it happened again, right? So this is the thing.
Jayson Tatum had yet another inconsistent game. We didn't talk about that.
I think he was 6 for 16 that night. Yeah,
and 1 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, 1 for 8 from 3.
Correlation?
They're just that talented, because their fifth best player and their fourth best player are better than most teams.
And then he'll put 45 on Minnesota, right? And he'll shoot 5 for 10 at the long ball, right? Then they'll play they'll play Phoenix, and he'll put 38 on KD, and he'll go 6 for 9 at the long ball line.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Penn mentioned OKC, and they have now improved to 4-0. Them and the Cavs are the only undefeated teams remaining in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the San Antonio Spurs 105-93. It was a team effort from OKC. Their defense was crazy, phenomenal. And Lou Dort had 20 points, 6 rebounds, a couple blocks, and he made 6 threes. This was the best I ever seen Lou Dort shoot. Chet played phenomenal. Once again, like I said earlier, Shea didn't have his best game. And on the other end, Wemby didn't.
You can say it, Ron. Yeah, he looked less than last night. Yes, he did.
Wasn't good.
He looked less than last night.
It's going to take time.
He had, as Charles Barkley would say, he had a triple, or as Shaq would say, he had a triple single.
Yep, he did.
No, that was Chuck on Draymond.
He was bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was bad. Chet's incredible. On another platform, I think last week, I said I think Chet might win DPOY. I think I actually used my DPOY pick this year. Especially if they win 60 games, they have a top 3 defense again, and the way Chet looks right now.
Yep.
Like right now, I don't know what his odds are. DraftKings, whatever. I don't know what he's second. Where did Rudy go? Where's Rudy?
Probably
yeah,
third.
He not winning no 5th DPOY, but I mean, yeah, I had Wemby as the preseason guy because I thought the narrative was going to be in his favor enough. Like it would have mattered that the Spurs weren't going to be a good defense. But A, this OKC team has started historically, and B, Chet is just a monster. That I think Chet. If I were voting 4 games in, I'd probably go with Chet.
You know what's hilarious? Not a single OKC player broke 30 minutes last night.
Because the game was over at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
I only watched the first half. The second half, I didn't watch. I didn't watch the second of the second half.
Spurs are trash.
I did.
And to everybody's point, since we're having basketball conversations about said players, SGA's his scoring has not so far has massively regressed.
Because he shoots threes.
Yeah, but he's just his numbers
are adjustment. There has to be a longer
adjustment. Yeah, I agree.
Looking forward on the Spurs, I know some Spurs fans are like, "Oh, we thought we might be better." The Atlanta Hawks have gotten off to a terrible start. The Spurs have their pick in a great draft. The Spurs also have their own pick. So if the Spurs are bad and the Atlanta Hawks are bad, the Spurs could have there's a realistic world in which the Spurs have the top 2 picks in this draft, which is just like after Stephon Castle last year, after Jeremy Sohan actually looking like he's an NBA player and decent, and Wemby is going to come around. I know a lot of people are taking victory laps on Wemby, but yeah, this Spurs future is very bright. And I actually, at this point, like if they start out like 2-12, just pull the plug on the season, man. Let Wemby shoot threes from the logo and call it a day. I don't give a shit.
I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here rooting for the Spurs success. Let me see some 7-4 sidestep threes on my timeline. That's what I care about. But the Spurs will be all right, as in they'll be trash, like I said they were going to be. So they'll be all right. Shea's scoring. He's experimenting. Like OKC are that good so that they can afford to experiment in the regular season. Like they're at that point now. They're the Boston of the East, the Boston of the West. They can do what they want and they're going to win games. Shea can shoot 8 threes a game. shoot pull-up threes in transition, do what you want. They're going to win. So why not let Shea experiment and see if he can add this in his game and have it consistent and see if he can have it as a weapon.
There's something to sucking for a lot of years and being able to accumulate talent like that. I mean, they obviously made great picks and
you have to draft correctly and do the right things in the front office. But it's good.
Imagine that, Swiper, being bad and getting the right picks and building a unit.
Being a competent front office usually does help you in the long run.
That happens, right? When instead of drafting this guy, I'm gonna pass on him and I'm gonna take this guy because he's better for the unit than this guy right here. That just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but you can't be fielding an AAU team.
We're not doing that. No.
You got to develop these talents when they come in, because these guys all come in with massive egos. They're all 5-star recruits and shit, and they think they're gonna run the league. You can't be doing what the Houston Rockets were doing 2 years ago. You need to bring in some depth.
You can field that kind of team. You just got to have the right person at the helm.
I just feel like if you field that type of team, you're going to breed all sorts of bad habits. You're going to have a lot of bad habits. You're not going to have you need to hold these players accountable. Yep. You know, a lot of people hold Marvin Bagley's failures against them. Sure, you can say it's partially on him, but look at the system in Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like this has to matter. Like we have to put these kids in positions to succeed. And every single year, usually the most ass teams get the best players. And that is a recipe that I feel like sucks.
When I watched Lou Dort last night, I wasn't more impressed with him shooting the long ball than I was how comfortable he was behind the long ball line. That's what I was the most impressed with him. Because a lot of guys who shoot the long ball, they'll just shoot it because they're open. He looked real comfortable behind the long ball line, shooting the three. And if that's an element, I don't expect him to make 6 threes on a nightly basis. No, I don't expect that. But if he could get more comfortable in that offense where he's able to shoot, where you can get a consistent 2 threes a night from him, I think that just makes them so much better. In addition to what Chet does, because I dug the fact that Chet brought the fight to Wemby. I love that because I think that he recognizes that Wemby looks at him like he's less than. I think he recognized that this dude thinks that I'm not on his level. This dude thinks he's just supremely nicer than me. So let's get to the bottom of that. And I felt like he brought the fight to Wemby last night. And it looked.
Who do you think is going to be the better player?
I think Wemby is the better talent. But my issue is, and I'm on record saying this, I hope he ain't made of glass. I really do. I hope he is not made of glass. Because if he's not, I think he'll be far and away the best player.
Okay. But Chester one just had the injury issues.
Yeah.
He had the injury.
Right.
I think the problem is
relative to Wemby.
Early in Wemby's career, a lot of people went like very viral talking about the potential injury issues of a 7'4" player. Yep. And everybody in Wemby's camp was already aware of this when he was 16, which is why he trains the way he trains. Like all the barefoot training, the flexibility training. I've never seen a 16-year-old take his body this seriously. Maybe like, I don't know what LeBron was doing back when he was 16, but this is he's protecting an asset. And basically they are protecting an asset as the French national team. They are protecting an asset. The Spurs are protecting. Everyone is protecting Wemby. He's like $1 billion, like alien. 7'4". If he works out, if it doesn't happen, like what China did with Yao Ming is like what Lithuania and USSR did with Arvydas Sabonis. Mm-hmm. This is the exact opposite of what they're doing with Wemby. They're protecting him. They're protecting his future because they know that if Wemby becomes what they think he's going to become, he is like the future of French national team. He is like the actual guy who can actually, compete with the youth movement that France is building up against the Team USA in 4 years. If it doesn't work, that is a massive loss for everybody. And we got to see it. And right now, like it looks really ugly. I was thinking about Grady Dick because last year Grady Dick was like shooting blanks in G League and everyone wrote him off. It's like, he's terrible. He's off. And I remember going back to the first 25 games of Jermaine O'Neal's career, Kobe's career, Dirk's career, T-Mac's career, all these guys who are not physically strong enough for the NBA. And believe me, Wemby, 25 pounds or not, is not physically strong enough for the NBA. And I would see these crazy highs and these massive lows, like lows where you think Kobe is the worst player in the world. Lows where you thought Dirk Nowitzki was literally like trash for G League back then or D League back then. But those are the greatest indicators of success for me. And that last year when I saw Grady struggling in the G League and I saw what he was trying to do and I saw how weak he was, I'm like, this guy's going to be like averaging 22 points per game real soon. And people didn't want to believe me. I'm telling you right now, like to the people who are hating on Wemby, he's going to be great. But right now they're allowing him to explore his game. He's taking sidestep logo threes and crazy shots. They need him to find himself as a player. But also, he's just not where Chet is physically. And I know Chet is very like scrawny and stuff as well. He's not like a big dude, but he is further along on that plane than Wemby. Wemby just gets moved way too easy right now. So when he figures it out, when the jump shot becomes more smooth, because his mechanics are fine, but the shot variance on how he gets those threes off relative to Chet, who's more of a stationary catch and shoot kind of guy, it's very different. It'll look like Emeka Okafor versus, I don't want to say it's like this. It's not quite that gap, but Emeka Okafor versus Dwight Howard. It was discussion for a minute, and then Dwight just took off, right? The Chet versus Wemby thing, I don't think is going to be that close when they're at their peak, but for the next couple of years, it's going to be a debate for sure.
Do you think Chet can be a top 5 player in the league?
I think he'd be a top 10 player.
Yeah.
He's that good. You think he can be better than Shea?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Better than Shea?
Yeah, I do.
Shea really good.
I agree, Chill. I think he will be a top 5 player. I think it's actually inevitable.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think Wemby will end up having a higher ceiling, but I don't think it's that far off.
I think him and Chet, I think him and Wemby, they're the future of basketball. Once he learns how to play basketball at a slower pace and the game slows down for him, that mid-range becomes more consistent, how he learns to use his body around the basket, not necessarily just as a defensive player, but as an offensive player too. He gets that left hook and that right hook in his game. He gets that open pivot in his game more. He becomes an even better defensive player. I 100%. I'm not going to jump over the fence, but I think that there's going to come a point where we're having a discussion about Chet being the league MVP. I think we can have that discussion at some point.
Yo, Mars, this is year 2. Like this is year 2 Chet. And here's the thing. He's going to stay with this same core guys, barring a trade. But for the most part, he should stay with Shea. He should stay with CBA, he should stay with Shea and he should stay with J-Dub. But if he's with and Mark Daigneault probably will be his coach for a very long time. He's going to stay with these guys, so he's going to continue to get better with this same core unit. Like theoretically, he should only get better from here. So if this is him year 2, what is he going to look like in year 7 once he's comfortable with the league, once he knows what's coming?
But Ron, you got to count how many players in the league, though, to say like top 5. There are a lot of players around that age frame that are going to be like still elite.
Luka and Paolo, Wemby,
Scotty Barnes for some people might be there. I mean, just his age, where he is age-wise.
What is Chet? 20, 21?
22.
So it's 22. So by
Chet at 30.
So that's not even 30. Let's say 27. So in within 5 years, at 27 years old, when he's probably filled out.
When Jayson Tatum's 31 years old, he'll still be in his prime.
Jayson Tatum, yeah. Shea
will be in his prime.
The way that Chet and Jalen Suggs are balling out, shout outs to Minnesota basketball, man.
Well,
shout out to Gonzaga
basketball is on the rise.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say Gonzaga too. I mean, yeah, they both went to Gonzaga.
I mean, shout out UConn too.
What I'm equating it to is like, how many of you guys, don't get me wrong, with as good as Joel Embiid is, in I don't know, let's say year 2, did you think Joel Embiid would be a top 5 player in the game?
Did I think
year 2 is in 2018?
So after he played, you mean like after
year 2 of him playing? I thought Joel Embiid was going to be the best center in the league for like.
Yeah, he got a max contract after his first year playing 26 games. So I mean, everybody.
I saw rookie Joel Embiid and thought that was the best center in the league for the next 10 years.
But hold on, Mark, you thought he was going to be 34 a night?
No,
but
I thought he was going to be the best center in the league. But no,
sure,
but he was, and just to be clear, he was the best center in the league.
Right.
Yeah, but I thought it was for the foreseeable future. Then this was after year 2, Mars. This was year. I thought after the first time I watched him play OKC, I was like, okay, yeah, trade Nerlens Noel. This is the guy. But then after that rookie year where he played like 35 games or whatever.
Well, and remember, Embiid got caught in a gap from when the center position died.
It was the bad era. It was the bad
and then
era.
all of a sudden
this guy
Embiid comes out here.
one.
It's like 23-9. It's like, all right, that it's going to be him.
Yeah.
So 17-18, but then literally it was 1 year. Remember, it was 1 year 17-18. Then all of a sudden, that's the next year when Joker goes from like this middling, everybody thinks he can be good, to like first team All NBA, and then that's when everything started to switch. And then
Joel was better in 19.
Yeah, and then Anthony Davis switched positions in 1920, and then then it just got messy, and then Giannis went like.
I'm saying
yes,
that,
I thought Embiid would be really good.
Right.
Basically,
I'm saying that because we're in year 2 with Chet, and we saw what he did last year, and we saw just what he was for the Oklahoma City team. This year, just watching him, it's obvious that he's gotten better. Just watching him.
He's great.
In the
his timing is impeccable.
Yes, he's gotten better, which tells me that
he's already a more fearful defender than Wemby is for me personally. I mean, his timing is crazy.
I just think, to be honest with you, and this may sound crazy to you guys, I just think he's smarter as a defender. I do. I think that he's smarter as a defender than Wemby. I don't think Wemby understands coverages yet. I feel like Chet understands. Do you
think he gets that from playing at Gonzaga and then having that year to sit?
I think that had something to do with it, because I mean, I don't know if you can. There's a lot of value that goes into being able to understand things by just sitting down and watching and recognizing how to do certain things. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of value in being out there also, but actually sitting down and somebody explaining it to you and teaching it to you and being around that system every day, I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, Wemby was thrown out there on a bad team. Chet wasn't thrown out there on a bad team. Chet was thrown out there on a good team, and he made them better. In addition to him making them better.
Sorry, Cho. Is it worth noting that Wemby is 2 years younger? Is that worth noting?
Chet is older than most second year.
Definitely, Pen. 100%.
Wemby's 20.
When you're in that age range, does it really matter though?
He's 20.
2 years?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Think about who you were 20 to 22.
I mean, look at Ant, 20 to 22. That's a crazy jump. Look at Tyrese Maxey, 20 to 22. Look at Scotty Barnes, 20 to 22. Like the jump that happened. Sure, Jalen Green, shit. 20, he was terrible. 22, he's less terrible. So 20. I'm just kidding. He's better. He's better. He's doing well.
Dwayne Wade is a prime example of that, Swiper. Dwayne Wade at 23 in 2006, as opposed to when he first showed up 2 years before that. Or I can get with that. All right. Yeah,
because I'm trying to think. Because even Joker was 22, 18, 19, and then he was 25 his first MVP season. And then there was that seismic league. And then Giannis was 24?
2017, I think.
Well, he was 24 his first MVP year, right?
Yeah, I think so. So 2017 is when he really took the jump.
Sheesh. But you know how good you got to be to win an MVP at 24, dog?
That's crazy.
But when Derrick Rose do it.
Yeah, he stole it. He stole it.
But when Derrick Rose do it.
Yeah, he stole it.
I'm just what I meant when I said
whatever. Cool.
What I meant when I said that was that when we're in the same age range. That I don't mean you specifically at age 20 to 22, your growth. I'm just thinking about, like you just mentioned, Chet is 2 years older than him. Okay, well, me being 2 years older than you, and we're in the same age range around that time where you're developing and I'm developing too. I'm 2 years older than you, so me being 2 years older than you. That may give me an advantage, and I might get a jump on you. Now, don't get me wrong. I can see your development 2 years from now, how much better you're going to be. Well, I can be even better than that because physically I'm more advanced than you are.
But okay,
so you're basically saying Chet might always just be 2 years ahead of him.
No, he won't be. Okay, so let's put it this way. Giannis at age 20 averaged 12 points per game.
What year
was he?
14, 15. 14, 15. Okay, that's age 20.
That's when he still played a small forward, right?
Yeah.
He played shooting guard that year, according to Basketball Reference, but sure. At age 22, he finished 7th in MVP voting and averaged 23 points and 9 rebounds a game.
That's the year.
That's the jump.
Player year?
Yeah, that's
the was that point guard Giannis or the year after point guard?
That's the year after point guard Giannis. So that development, what I like to tell people is between the ages of 15 and 25 are the ages of unpredictable, explosive growth. You could have any one summer and suddenly you get it. It all clicks. The timing works. The jumper comes together. Your body grows. I don't know. Like where Wemby is going to be 2 years from now is anyone's guess. But I think if you're guessing that he's going to be 2 times better than the player he is today, that's a fair guess. And please understand that this same player with this 2-year gap that we're talking about beat out Chet last year for Rookie of the Year, and he absolutely outplayed him. Chet outplayed him all the way through, and he outplayed him with less help. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions about Victor Wembanyama based on 1 game or 3 games. The same way I don't want to jump to conclusions about Tatum on 1 game. The body of work tells me what I saw this guy do in the summer, what I've known about him since he was 16 years old, and the work ethic that he has. He is going to be the better player. Can Chet be the 3rd best player in the NBA? Sure, maybe, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think a realistic person looking at these 2 players right now, given the age difference, given the physicality difference, given their team construct difference, could tell me that they think that Chet is going to be better than Wemby. I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, fellas, I got a few super chats, so let's go ahead and get into these. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Y'all make sure you like the video, subscribe to Player's Choice, and ultimately, just keep going, chat. All right, my man Hunter sent through a super chat. He said, that has to be the worst way I've ever seen anyone lose a playoff baseball game in the World Series.
5th inning,
no less.
5th inning collapse.
Platinum. This is how big my hater card carrying is for the Yankees. I love to see the Yankees go down in flames. Damn. Right? I am a diamond member of the Hater Yankees Club right here. This dude right here. I can't stand the sight of seeing the Yankees win. And the fact that they lost yesterday, as a Mets fan,
Eat it, Yankees. Well, the thing about it, New York, at least the Liberty got a championship. And above all, at least y'all got Cat.
Big puff.
$60 million for Cat is the consolation at the end of this. Okay.
44 points. Yeah.
No Cat Prince said Draymond's still one of the best defenders in the league. Draymond is greater than Rudy Gobert.
He gotta be better than Anthony Edwards on defense first.
Draymond's awesome.
He was good. Yeah,
I'm waiting for Zion to lock in because I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. I'm just waiting. We gonna
patiently waiting.
Yeah.
What's that old Maya Angelou quote?
When people
you must not have heard it.
Oh yeah.
Believe him.
And where we are with Zion. What year is this?
5, 6, 7, 8,
6. I think.
For year 5? It's 5 years already.
20,
Zion got busy
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 4, 7. This 7.
12 or 17 shooting. Zion got busy.
Well, he came in 1920.
1920.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6.
2018 was Luka.
Yeah, I need Zion to lock in, man, because I swear, like, I might have been 2 years too early to my Zion hate train. I might have been
too early. You've been too early on a few players and too late on one, and you're too late on Jalen Green. So,
no. Hey, we averaging 29, so be humble. But yeah,
Cam Thomas is too.
You're the Cam Thomas hater, not me.
You just know what I like, what I don't like.
Don't you wish Jamal Murray could do that?
No, I don't. I do. I'm very glad he does not play like that consistently.
No, I do not.
He does that sometimes. He did that sometimes
in the room, which is
no, I do not.
How many players on the Denver Nuggets, aside from Nikola Jokic, currently have a positive box plus minus swiper?
Oh, I don't know. I don't look at that stuff. In
Christian Brown gonna have one, right?
You should.
In game 4, you want me to look at that?
Yeah. Wait,
so again, Chris Boucher, like I said, I was top 10 for like a good bit of the early part of the season. I'm saying I don't typically pay attention to that stuff until we get to close to mid-season.
Not one.
No. It is valid. I appreciate all those things, but it's like voting. It's like when people look like voting analytics. I typically don't look until about October-ish, early October. That way you can get a true sign of what's happening.
But Nikola Jokic is pretty much the same player he was last year, except he's just a little bit better.
If this is Jokic now, then he's actually a good bit better than what he was last year, which is why it's not believable. Bait used to be believable. I don't believe this. I don't believe it.
My point is, like, I'm seeing this guy playing an entire third quarter against the Toronto Raptors. I'm seeing him have to do crazy work against the Brooklyn Nets.
Early season, and the Nets just beat Memphis, and Bron didn't bring it up. Nobody brought up that
serious roster issues on that team.
That's because of that Ben Simmons defense.
Denver Nuggets. There's some serious.
They just beat the Bucks and beat Memphis. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I mean, that's Ron's favorite team. That's one of Chill's teams.
Who did Memphis lose to last night?
Crazy.
No.
They lose. They didn't lose. They lost. They lost to the Nets. They lost to the Nets.
Okay.
And then Dennis Schroeder would have given them
Dennis Schroeder act like he's trying to get a max contract or so.
Contract year, Dennis Schroeder is a different animal.
Yeah, I'll just know one thing. That boy better not turn down that bread this time, too.
You guys been seeing Nicholas Claxton's defense this season? You guys been seeing it?
Yeah, well, it's not. To be fair to him, this is the way they're playing. To be fair to him.
What's it looking like, Mars?
Is it your testimony that it fell off a cliff, Mars?
No. This is me. I'm giving Nick Claxton credit. I don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, he
was good yesterday.
Jokic got some buckets and he fouled out, but like for the most part.
Well, he's not supposed to stop Jokic though.
Yeah. For the most part, when he's actually used correctly, which is the switch big, backline rim protects, all of those things. I told you, Nick Claxton, one of the best defenders in the league. Now, last year he wasn't. But that was a lot of Jacques Vaughn misusing him, and the Nets were trash. But this year, Nick Claxton is back. So I think I was a year early on the Nick Claxton propaganda. I tried to tell you guys.
Break up the Nets.
I'm gonna be right.
How is it? Wait, how is it propaganda
like,
for one of the best bigs in the league? How does that work?
Because people were doubting Nick Claxton, and I was saying that they weren't agreeing.
Man, this is like 2 or 3 people, Marge. That's what I figured out about you. You find one person, and it's me against you.
I read the chat when I make my take. See, this is the thing. The chat can't get things over on me. I be seeing these polls. I be seeing what's happening. When I was saying that stuff about Claxton being one of the best defenders in the league, they weren't agreeing on the polls.
You doubted Chet.
When I was talking last year about Chet and Wemby, they were saying Wemby cleared. When I was doing the poll of if Chet got bullied in the playoffs, they were saying Chet got bullied.
When I'm right, nothing happens.
Now
that's
all
crazy.
the polls, running a poll, who's better, Chet or Wemby? 75% Chet. But when I was saying it, guys were mad at me.
Wait. Better, basketball or defense? Which one?
Better. Who's a better player?
When did this poll go up?
Just a second ago.
Man, y'all are so biased, bro. Like y'all literally just 45-second TikToks is how y'all see basketball. This is it. Eyes wide open for one play. Highlight, close them. No background analysis at all.
How they looking at it?
I ain't doing nothing. Yeah, y'all wanna screenshot that? Screenshot it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's crazy.
Yo, somebody give me that screenshot.
That's chill.
Please.
This is chill. Every time Tatum does something, and then I say something, all of a sudden it's hate. And then it turns into a propaganda machine about who's inconsistent in the league. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of PC. I'm sick of the way y'all treat me. I deserve better.
That's the problem. And see, the chat want to hold us accountable for our takes because we're on camera, right? And they'll be like, I remember you said this 6 months ago. You said this. But they can just flip-flop on these polls all day and act like, oh, I was right all along. I'm watching these polls. You guys are changing your minds each day.
That's okay.
No. Again, everybody understands.
I promise. When Wemby has a game, Wemby has 37, 14, 6 blocks, and 8 assists,
right.
The best big man in the league.
Same poll. Who's better? Chet or Wemby? They're going to pick Wemby.
It's not that serious.
That's your generation. Mars, that's your generation. That's why they love you. The people love you because you real when you real and you fake when you fake. And you fake every time you talk about Jalen Green. You fake every time you talk about a player you don't like. And you real on a bunch of other stuff, especially when it comes to old tape. Can't nobody verify this on YouTube somewhere in some dirty basement. You real when it comes to that stuff. When it comes to Jalen Green or when it comes to supporting me, you fake. That's crazy.
Jalen Green not averaging 29 right now.
Crazy. Hey, chill. Check every time I get on PC and do a panel or do something here, or even when we having a conversation, here come Mark. Swiper ain't really saying nothing for real, and he gonna say it online though. That's crazy.
No, he be trying to talk, and you just be cutting everyone off. I don't even care.
I turned my mic off today.
I'm just talking in the chat. Hey,
yes, I did. I literally did. I literally turned it down.
You know how many times during that Tatum conversation I was trying to get my point off? I got to say 3 sentences. And
I started the conversation with chill, and y'all butted your way in to change the combo.
No, Ron butted in.
No, and I'm not a Gen Z.
Ron. That's what happened. Ron butted in. I started talking to Ron. Then the whole time I was still trying to get to the bottom of what Ron said, and Swiper was like, "Why are we talking?"
Which, by the way, Mars, we still have not gotten.
Wait, how was the conversation between me and Chill, and then all of a sudden here come Ron and Mars introducing themselves to the conversation? How does that work?
Ron for using what you
Chill and I were having a personal one-on-one breakfast, going over our pancakes, talking about the game plan for the next day. And here come Mars and Ron. Hey, y'all, what y'all talking about? What y'all talking about?
So y'all was having a breakfast? Y'all had a breakfast?
We was talking breakfast, talking about the game plan for tomorrow. Here come Ron. Hey, y'all know what? Guess what? He's inconsistent. And here come Penn. Define inconsistency.
Which, by the way, Mars, since we on that subject, have you gotten a satisfactory answer?
No. No, I was trying to get to the bottom of what I was trying to get to the bottom.
Can we get to the bottom of that, Ron?
Swiper's just like, why did the conversation change? I was just trying to talk about what happened in the Pacers game. And I'm like, I'm trying to talk to Ron about what he said. I don't care what you said. I'm trying to talk about what Ron said. Ron used you to leapfrog to other nonsense about Jayson Tatum. And I was trying to get to the bottom of what Ron was saying. I don't care that Jayson Tatum ain't played well last night. I agree with you. Cool. I was trying to get to Ron's point, and I just couldn't the whole time. The whole time I was trying to get to the bottom of what Ron said. Then I heard Chill say something. I wanted to get to that. But no, I couldn't. It's just
Ron tells us. I want to make sure I'm clear, Mars. So Ron tells us that consistency is a guy's floor every night. Is that correct, Ron?
Chill. The thing about it is, this conversation is dead and gone. Swiper's not gonna let me get to it.
I haven't said a word. I'm about to leave. Say what you want with your bird chest. Speak on your own. Don't bring my name up. Speak on your own merit. Do that.
Hey, Swiper,
who are you yelling at?
By the way, Swiper, I don't know if you know this.
I said his name. Penn, do you need me to repeat it? Penn's trying to create this fake rivalry with me, this fake beef. Every time he get on, Swiper said, "Oh, Denver Nuggets. If you don't care about no defense, you don't care about this and that." You see what Penn be doing? I don't even addressing him. If I was to talk about a dirt cheap, terrible franchise like the Raptors, I would bring his name up. I ain't got nothing to say. They're not in my worldview, in my world house. I don't think about them. I don't think about the Raptors. I don't think about Drake either, because y'all done lost all summer, and then here you coming at me. I'm Kendrick. You Drake. Stay in your lane. Don't come for Kung Fu Kenny. Stay in your lane.
You're not calling me Drake. And honestly, I'm gonna need you to ship me a Tylenol. I'm gonna need you to ship me some Tylenol after listening to your bullshit all this episode.
What did I say that was BS? What did I say that was BS? What did I say that was BS? Bring up one.
Loud and really.
I'm entertaining. I don't know what to tell you, Penn. Get your game up. Get your game up. I'm entertaining. Don't make me final boss you. Chill. Don't make me final boss you. Chill.
The final boss reincarnated.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be. I'm not final boss. No final boss.
You've been arguing with your teachers the whole life. They've been trying to.
My teachers? No, actually, I was a really well-behaved student. I actually follow a lot of
Yeah.
Well, just to be clear,
you didn't have a mic back then, though, right?
A mic? Did I have a microphone at 9 years old? I mean, the jukebox.
You cranked it all the way up. I'm just lying.
I did not know Swiper worked with the King family. That's dope.
No.
I'm getting back to these super chats. David Mujinaya said, Ron ignoring $25 super chats. No, David, I read your $25 super chat. And one of these special days, Thanksgiving or Christmas, we will get to your top 75 list. As a matter of fact, I got your order right here. It's Ron, Swiper, Penn, Chill, Bob, Mars. We'll make that happen.
I'll go to Dennis' appointment. Taking one out of Ox's book.
All right, it's going to be a surprise episode. Mars is going to know, and we're just going to pop up with it. Hey, 75.
You know what you need to do, Ron? Can I give you an episode suggestion? The worst moves in Sacramento Kings history.
Damn.
You need to do that, because I heard the Dalton Connect thing that Ox said, and I started to spiral. Like, I started to lose my mind, because I was like, this. I've said some crazy stuff on this platform, but that's like some next level shit. Do you know who they picked Davion Mitchell over?
Who?
Davion Mitchell.
Alperen Şengün.
21, right? Yeah.
Trey Murphy. Jalen Johnson. And I'm supposed to crash out over Dalton Connect?
But, I mean...
They picked Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic.
Good
pick. Wait, Penn, if you said I'm the Dylan Brooks of the panel, are you the Dalton Connect of the panel?
Why am I Dalton Connect? Why I got to be Dalton Connect? Do I look like Dalton Connect?
I don't know. Take your hat off.
No, you don't look like Dalton.
Do I look like Dalton Connect?
No.
You
about a 3-point shooter.
If I take my hat off right now, I'm having one of those hair days right now. If I take my hat off, people are gonna be doing mental health checks on me.
Hey, at least you got hair. That's all I gotta say. You know, it's unfortunate.
Chat, please do me a favor and let me know who Penn is on the panel. I think we went through everybody.
Why you always do this? I'm great.
Well, when it comes up, I need a chat to clarify who we are.
Someone's saying I look like reject Eminem. I look like Nikola Topic. All right, shout out to Nikola Topic, my countryman. All right.
I got another super chat from said, bruh, here we go with Ron hating on Tatum. He couldn't wait for Tatum. He couldn't wait for a Tatum bad game to start ranting. Where was the energy for Tyrese Halliburton 0-point game?
But we know why Ron doesn't criticize Tyrese Halliburton. When does Ron criticize any of his favorite players? He doesn't do that. He doesn't stand on business with stuff like that. So there's no reason to expect any different. No. I expect Chill. No, Chill was even going to cry. Chill would have criticized Tatum today if he didn't get all that help and assistance from the man at the top left and the top middle. So it is what it is.
I don't need help against you, Swiper. Let's be clear.
No, this
about
is not
that
true.
right
This
now.
is we have in-person evidence that you do. No, Ron. We have in-person evidence that he needs help and he gets help. I'm not going to disclose. We have in-person evidence of this happening.
No, I do not. I can hold my own.
Swiper, you talking about with Chill picking his group with the PCL?
All I'm saying is Chill got assistance from the crowd. That's what he did. He got assistance from the crowd. Call him to How to Be a Millionaire. He called a pickup line and got assistance from the crowd. That's all I'm saying. And I still beat him. Both of them.
No, you
Both
didn't.
of them.
You did not.
What do you mean I didn't? You got cooked.
You did not.
All right, y'all. Moving along. On to the next super chat from Slitherman. He said, recapping the evolution talk earlier, as an example, Jesse Owens ran on dirt. Slows you down about 1 to 2 seconds compared to now. They measured his strides, and he would have been in the pack of Beijing, 100-meter dash, final, or just behind.
That was 100 years ago, too.
Wait, what?
Damn, it
what
was?
did
Basically, Jesse Owens, if he would have had modern technology and not ran on dirt, he would be in the pack for the Beijing 100-meter dash, or just behind.
Cool.
Shout out Jesse Owens. We got some new members and we got some members chats, so we're gonna get into those right now. Philip Redford became a member. Shout out to Philip. Star became a member as well, and Star said, "Love the show. Curious why you think Giannis gets criticism in the media /PC. KD, LeBron, and Kawhi all got coaches fired, players traded, and not one after."
Well, KD and LeBron for sure get more criticism than Giannis.
Way more. Giannis has not gotten real criticism for what the decisions that have been made. Who's really criticized him for it?
They're just trying to get him out of Milwaukee.
Well, he's trying to get him out of Milwaukee with everything that's happening. He threatened to not sign twice. He forced 2 trades, and then now Doc Rivers is there, 19 and 22, whatever. I think in there since Doc Rivers got there. Can't remember the exact record.
23.
Yeah. You tell what you say? What's that? 23?
23.
19 and 23.
Chose day above. Nice.
Who did Kawhi get fired?
Mars, you say 1923 is Chill's date
Doc
of birth?
Rivers, I guess.
Did Kawhi get Doc Rivers fired, or did Doc Rivers?
That would be the only one. 2020, right? That would be the only one because he didn't get.
I think Doc Rivers got Doc Rivers fired.
Yeah, but that would be the only argument,
Mars,
right?
Chill is not 101.
And if I am,
well, yeah, maybe his birthday's in December. Maybe he's still
101.
100. I don't know. Maybe he's still 100. The birthday might be next month. I don't know. But
Chilltown Hoops, the legend continues, man.
I'm just saying, yo, wow, 101.
He was there for Earl Lloyd's debut. They didn't allow him in the arena, but he was there. Shout out to you.
Tay T also became a YouTube member on Players Choice today. If you're not a YouTube member, be like Tay and become one right now. Sorry Key sent through a members chat. He said, Otani better, Dub Mars. Y'all think my Hawks can get a top 6 seed?
No, I don't think.
With the injuries you guys got to try to win some games. Dyson Daniels missing time, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich,
and they don't have their pick, man. This is why you don't trade those future first round picks, because you can't pivot. Because if they could pivot right now, they shut down Trae Young. They tank for Cooper Flag, but they can't tank. Unprotected.
Who needs Cooper Flag when you just got the number 1 overall pick, Zachary Ricochet?
Please don't do that.
Facts. Number 1 pick.
That'd be your problem. Y'all don't covet what you got. You're always looking into the future.
3
you don't love your girl
firsts
because you
for
focused on
DeJounte
your next
Murray.
girl. You don't enjoy the meal that you eating. You don't enjoy your breakfast because you focused on dinner. Hey, appreciate what you got right now. Zachary Ricochet, he gave you 17 points.
Would you rather?
How many divorces, Ron? How many divorces?
Sick of Ron. I swear, I'm so sick of him. Oh my goodness.
Chill, why?
You just get on my nerves, Ron. That's just it. It's really
all right. Chill. Well, enjoy being sick of me right now. Stop projecting into the future. Enjoy right now.
Would you rather have a team be fan of a team that makes trades consistently and it never hits, or teams that don't do anything at all for years? And
at least they trying. If they making trades,
does nothing. No team does nothing.
At least they trying to do something.
Doing something.
Right.
Okay.
And by the way,
I don't like the Celtics under Rick Pitino, where 3 months trade Chauncey Billups. 3 months, this guy didn't work out, trade him. I don't like that.
Right.
I like organizations that see things through. My model organization is probably OKC. I think they have the best run everything. Like they're just great. They're the model franchise for what small market teams should aspire to be. San Antonio is great. Miami's great. Like those are the teams. They consistently hit. They consistently find undrafted gems. They consistently develop them. That's what you want. They don't give up on players because they have one bad week or one bad year. They tend to hold people accountable. I like that. And they have long-term coaching staffs. Like you look at it from an organization perspective. Do the inmates run the asylum? Right. That's really what I'm looking at. If I'm a player, can I come in and go to my can I go over the coach's head and just go to my owner and say, I want this guy gone because he's not giving me the touches I want. LeBron couldn't do that in Miami with their exposure, right? And that's the organizational stability. If Victor Wembanyama doesn't like what's happening with Greg Popovich, he can't just go over his head to the ownership and be like, I want him gone. That organizational stability, that consistency between your coaching staff and your ownership is what creates a good environment for young players to be accountable, in my opinion.
Since we're on the subject of ownership and organizations, Penn, just so you know, Sacramento Kings, they took Ben McLemore and they passed on Giannis and Rudy Gobert. Just want to put that on your mind.
Oh God, yeah. Like I mean, like the Dalton Connect thing is the craziest thing about the Dalton Connect thing is I actually believe in Devin Carter a lot. I think I had Devin Carter above Dalton Connect on my board. So I don't even think it's that big a deal. It's just y'all crashing out over Dalton Connect having 18 points.
Yo, y'all don't know.
It ain't
I said the same thing about De'Aaron Fox.
He's 23, right? Am I wrong? He's 23 years old.
Yeah, 23.
He's older than Chet Holmgren, and he's a rookie.
Ox did the same thing about Keegan Murray, and y'all see how high he is on Keegan Murray now. Ox did the same thing about Keegan.
He was mad about the Jaden Ivey thing, right?
Yeah. Hutton Gilgores has been a member for 3 months. He said, not gonna lie, this ish is mad annoying about the Celtics and JT. Like, who cares?
Who cares? Who cares to criticize? Who cares to critique?
Who cares?
They're gonna win a championship anyway. It's just the way
we
they
care.
It's just the way they play. That's how they've been coached.
And when people say, "Who cares?"
That's what you said. That's what you said. That's just the way they're coached. That's what Missoula wants. Don't criticize.
But that is the way that they're coached. What are you talking about? That is the way that they're coached. That is the system. But that doesn't mean I don't care. That doesn't mean that when I'm sitting here watching Jayson Tatum take sidestep threes on Jonathan Kuminga,
right, but you are
Christmas,
hell. Okay. Hey, no, it's something wrong with bottom right. I promise you. I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but I have. Anyway. Swiper is a terrorist, y'all.
Swiper just wants to see the world burn. He's like
he won't set it on fire though. He won't.
He's like Joker in Dark Knight.
100% watch it burn. Yes, he will.
Joker in Dark Knight. How fitting. Steven sent through a member's chat. He's been a member for 7 months. He said, "That's your light-skinned Lord and Savior, Swiper." Or that's your light-skinned Lord and Savior.
That's there.
Swiper so sad.
There.
That's their
light. You talking about Jayson Tatum? Yeah. That I think everybody saw today how disgusting some of you are about Jayson Tatum, from Celtics fans to Chill, who is a Braun fan and Tatum fan, so he's kind of swapped in between the two. Yeah, you can't criticize him without it becoming a conversation about like, well, what about the championship last year? What about the great things he does for his organization? He's a model person. Oh, the way look how great of a quarterback he is. That's how you talk about quarterbacks. Like Tom Brady has a bad game. Well, he's been doing it for so many years. Look at the greatness of his resume. That's exactly what we do with Tatum. They're gonna win anyway.
That's not exactly.
They're gonna win anyway.
We actually had a conversation about him, so that's not what we do. We had a conversation about what he did last night. We had a conversation about that. So he's
a champion. Exactly. He's a champion. He's a win. They're gonna win. But Joker, like that's crazy, bro.
You going from Joker to Penguin real fast.
I like both, but first off, Penguin's a great show. By the way, I don't know if y'all seen Penguin on HBO. It's just been exceptional. Colin Farrell is spectacular.
Mossy Go Crazy became a YouTube member today, and then he sent through a super chat. He said, "Talk about Dennis Schroeder, please. He's balling."
Yeah, Ben Simmons is hooping, man.
Hey, no, shout out Dennis Schroeder though. We
talked about Dennis Schroeder yesterday. Yeah, we talked about Dennis Schroeder yesterday. Yes.
Dennis do this every year.
I don't know.
He came out last year.
We'll talk about Brooklyn. We'll talk about Brooklyn in about another month and a half, maybe 2 months, and then we get to the middle of December, and We'll see where they are in that. We'll see where they are
when they stink.
We'll see.
Yeah, man, they're trying to capture that flag.
Yeah,
I'm gonna still be pushing my Ben Simmons propaganda. We averaging a mean 6, 6, and 6 right now.
6, 6, and 8.
Going straight to hell with that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Capo has been a member for 12 months. He said, "What's going on with Bam? That offensive hub, not hubbing."
I think Bam has a tendency to let himself get. He overcoaches himself, and I do think that Spo gives him the green light to do things, but I think he's so wrapped up in the system, he's so wrapped up in the offense, the way it's ran, that he doesn't get out of it more times than not. He just stays within the system. There's times that he can deviate from the offense, and he does, but more times than not, he stays right within the system, and that affects their offense a lot. He can make pull-up jump shots. He can get to the rim. He's really good in transition, but he's so wrapped up in how they run things that he ends up finding himself in that situation.
Maybe he's just not as good offensively as you think.
I 100% think he is as good as I think he is offensively. But
well, yeah, of course you're gonna think you're right.
Badly outplayed by Carlton Towns last night.
You're not gonna
had 44.
I think I'm wrong. I'm gonna just keep having this opinion. No,
well, that's not true because I've been wrong about things. And you
and then when you think you're wrong, you say I think I'm wrong. But right now you still think you're right. So yes, you haven't changed your mind.
How we haven't talked about?
I think you are wrong. Of course you're gonna say I think I'm right until you think you're wrong.
How the hell have we not talked about Carlton Towns putting up 44 points last night?
Because I didn't watch the game, so I
didn't either.
Yeah, I can't tell you how great it is.
Because we spent an hour talking about what was the first hour about today?
Injuries.
Oh, injuries.
But that's what the show.
Injuries. Jayson Tatum, consistency, super chats, Batman.
Yeah, here we are.
I'm not gonna lie, host. You would think we would talk about basketball on this platform, but we talk about
OKC
hypothetical inconsistencies.
Okay.
I think the conversation was actually pretty nuanced and pretty good.
Yeah, sure you did. I'm sure you did. All right, next.
We'll more than likely get to the Knicks and the Grizzlies, but in the meantime, Baba sent through a super chat. He's been a member. He said, Chill got a wooden leg with the kickstand on it.
You know, he and like I said, I don't really pay a lot of attention to that stuff, but you know that he said specifically he comes and he's here in the chat to piss me off. I don't even pay attention to the chat. If you notice, have you seen me react to the chat at all? You haven't. And the reason
not
why
today. Not today.
No, there's been growth in recent times. I haven't seen it.
And the reason why is because I don't pay attention to the chat no more. I don't. I couldn't care less about it.
So you know what I thought about? I thought about from Family Guy, the dude with the wooden limbs, the pirate. That's exactly where my mind went.
So I mean, like I said, he's specifically, and he's a kid, by the way. He said he comes here to piss me off. That's that. So I like I said, I'm not Russell Westbrook. I'm not listening to the crowd. Yo, I'm out here rocking. I don't pay attention to that.
Chill, you did respond to the chat and playback yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, rumor has it you be responding to them on playback.
But the difference in playback is I have to see that. That's the difference. Like
you can remove that. You can.
Yeah, you can remove the chat.
Well, see, if I knew that.
Oh wait, he old. You got to teach him about the time.
Okay,
nah, you ain't even that old. You ain't even that old.
If I knew that, now I know. Now I know because I don't have to deal with them. I don't have to deal with these dudes.
Not to be all kayfabe about this, but honestly, like people who will like wake up for 3 hours, write in a chat to try and get a reaction out of somebody, are not people worth responding to. In my honest opinion.
Pin.
I think you guys
you do that to me when you're not on the show quite often.
A couple minutes ago.
How?
It's still
what do you mean how? Pin, have you seen yourself when I'm on the show and what you'll say to me directly?
And
I will ignore.
You're very irritating.
Oh, okay. So you'll wake up. You'll wake up and comment on me being irritating.
You think I come here to talk to you? I'm here to talk about basketball. I'm taking a page out of.
Ben, you will literally you'll take a nugget slight at me as if I play for the Nuggets.
I just can't stand your double standard, bro. Like I cannot understand how a person can sit there with a straight face and call Jayson Tatum inconsistent while you are.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say Jayson Tatum's inconsistent?
That was Ron.
Jayson Tatum.
Did you co-sign it?
Swapper just said.
No.
That's what it said.
Damn.
Chill. Did I co-sign that nonsense? Was that Ron?
Conversations get complex. Ron was the problem today. It was Ron. Ron was the problem.
Damn.
I kept trying to talk to Ron and I couldn't.
I mean, honestly, hey, Swiper, thank you for that ghost screen.
You are a generational Tatum hater. I just got to say that. Like, I've listened to you enough times. You are. You will absolutely mute yourself.
Yes, I hate Tatum so much. He's the ninth best player in the world last year. Oh, but people think he's top 5, and I disagree. Oh, he's in the biggest market in the NBA. Oh no, I'm a hater.
Market?
Second biggest market in the league. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think he's top 5. Excuse me, Chill. Matter of fact, I should just stop commenting on Chill when he just says something about Jayson Tatum and Luka. You're right.
Please, yes, please.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's in here that's on Twitter. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you are on X, salute to you. Nelly sent through a members chat. He said, Ron, let's talk hoops, please. Now. Or let's talk hoops now, please.
A bit late for that. We got 30 minutes to go. This is what you got today.
Oh, man, Dub Narrative Talk. One buddy. He needs no introduction, y'all. He said, shout out to the LDBC. We in the building. Cooking on 100. 3 the hard way.
Nice. Shout out to that LDBC.
Mir has been a member for 1 month. He said Cleveland to the finals.
I ain't going that far. I'm not.
The Browns are good.
Hey, man. Jameis Winston. You cooking up right now. KT became a YouTube member. Salute to KT. KG Astro also became a YouTube member and type shit became a YouTube member. Salute to type shit.
What type shit? Is just any type of shit? Specific type of shit?
Just type shit.
General type of shit? What kind of what type?
Type shit.
Okay. All right.
Fresh Boy Swag said thoughts on the Apollo 3 that didn't count.
It didn't count.
Yeah, well,
it almost counted. Embiid had one of those last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, but what thoughts we meant to have? Like the buzzer went. I don't know.
He really ran around too, like looking for assistance.
They had no time. Like the world knew whatever was gonna happen, it wasn't gonna count. But like it went in.
That's not the answer that he's looking for, Mars. The answer he's looking for is that the 3 should have counted and Orlando should have won. That's
0.1 seconds. No, it
was literally impossible.
Wait. They would have tied, right? It was for a tie.
It was to tie, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get a shot off in point.
But he was running around like
I don't know. I think he thought if he had enough energy, they weren't gonna go to replay. I don't know. Like the world knew that weren't gonna count. But it was cool. Like it was cool. Shout out to him for making it.
Sorry.
Yeah, shout out to him for making it. But shout out to the Bulls for another comeback.
Ray Star said Cat took Bam to the woodshed last night. Yes, Chill, what's up with Bam? He has been terrible to start the season. Before you answer that question, Chill, the Knicks beat up on the Miami Heat last night, 116 to 107, and Cat exploded for 44 points, 13 rebounds, and he made 4 threes. What's up, Chill? How you feel about this?
Are we? When is it time to start having a conversation about Eric Spoelstra?
My God!
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Ever? So never.
So you're more willing to have the Spoelstra conversation before you say maybe I was wrong about Bam?
Yes.
Okay.
I am looking at a guy who has milked more than he should have out of every single roster he's had for the last 10 years, and I am not like I'm looking at this roster up and down. I'm like, they're not that great. They're just not that great.
So maybe Bam isn't as good as I think he is. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's more like
depends on how good you think he is. How good do you think he is? You think it's a top 10? You think he's a top 15 player?
I do think he is
a top 15.
Yep.
He also thinks Bam is capable of a lot more offensively. So
I think Bam's capable of more offensively too. But if you don't do it,
he's
a
20 and 10 guy. I think he's a 20 and 10 guy who could be an all pro this season.
That's what he's been. He's been 20 and 10 like the last 3 years.
Latest White.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, Swiper.
See ya.
Like that's basically what he is, right? 19 and 10, 20 and 9, 19 and 10. Like that's damn near what he's been.
I thought this season I thought this season I'd see anywhere between 22 to 24 game and 11 rebounds and elite defense. I thought I'd see more this season than I did, and I'm not seeing that. And I'm not seeing that largely due to the way he's been playing. Like I said, I think he overcoaches himself in his head. I think he sticks to what's going on. He doesn't deviate from the offense, not nearly as much as he should, because I do think that he's a better scorer than you give him credit for. But with that being said, this team right here, why isn't Kel'el Ware playing? Now, I know that there's some things going on within that organization that we don't know about, but from watching Kel'el Ware in the Summer League, from watching Kel'el Ware in the preseason, I do not think that Thomas Bryant is better than Kel'el Ware, just from a talent standpoint. Now, are you telling me that he's just not getting it? Are you telling me that you don't want to throw him out there because you don't want to ruin the kid too early? You don't want to you want to stay consistent with him and watch his growth as opposed to what's going on right now? If you want to do that, then that's I take no issue with that. But don't tell me that he should not be playing at all.
I think the thing with young players is like they oscillate on wider variables. So, like for instance, if the best game in NBA history is +10 and the worst one is -10, I think with Kel'el Ware you'll get like +6, but then the next night you might get -6. Whereas with Thomas Bryant, you're never going to get a +6 because he's just not that good, but you also never going to get a -6. So that element of why rookies don't usually play a ton of minutes for winning teams, that's why. I'm watching Jamal Shed versus Davion Mitchell. I think Jamal Shed is a way more talented player, but his worst night is going to be worse than Davion Mitchell's worst night. Problem is, your worst night might cue a 15-0 run for the other team. Your 6-turnover night or 7-turnover night, I just don't think Kel'el Ware is ready, and I think they know that. So what he did in preseason and what he did in summer league, that don't mean shit to me. I really don't. Like, it's great for him, and you know, like it's awesome. And you're right. He's more talented. They know that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's better. And that doesn't mean he's better for what you need. It doesn't mean like he's better for their team right now.
Fair enough. But with that being said, your stance on your worst night being worse than his worst night, does that mean every night is going to be my worst night? Well, no.
No, but you also can't lose a game because your fifth option.
No, you can't. But if I'm watching what Dallas did with Derek Lively and how you manage him, because Derek Lively was a project who I thought he was. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that Dallas, I 100% thought he was a project. I did not know that he was the passer that he is. I did not know that he processed offense the way he did. I did not know he was that good. I didn't. Saw him at Duke, and I thought that he was just a back. I thought that he was a back to the basket, potentially being a mid-post and mid-range guy who can defend. That's what I thought he was. I did not know he was that good with the basketball. What I'm saying when I'm thinking about younger guys is not every night is going to be my worst night. In fact, there are going to be nights when I get better. Now, there's going to be some rough nights. That's part of being a rookie. That's how you manage me. So if I'm killing us early, take him out of the game or put him in a better position, as opposed to just letting him stay out there and we're drowning with him every night. We don't have to do that with the Miami Heat. But what we don't have to do also, what we can't do is not play him at all. That's the part that I'm having a difficult time with. Why he's not playing?
Just because
the
he's not
Warriors
playing
did that
NBA
with James Wiseman and stunk, by the way.
Exactly. And when you like, first of all, I said this like the previous time, every organization does a psychological test and they know the player that they drafted, right? Yep. So they know if putting them out too early is going to break their confidence and maybe just get them hurt, you know, like it might hurt their development. Sometimes you want a guy to have to earn those minutes. We had this discussion last time when we were talking about Kel'el Ware versus Thomas Bryant. I know Thomas Bryant, Alex Len, all these guys, you know, even JaVale McGee, they don't stick out to anybody as like a future star, but they're stable. They're relatively stable. Like their worst night is not going to kill you. If I'm a team that's looking to win basketball games, I cannot be losing games because my fifth option had 5 turnovers. I just can't do that. I can't be losing games because Kel'el Ware fouled out in 7 minutes and he had 5 moving screens, because that's how you break momentum in a game. And I'm going to trust that Thomas Bryant. So the question is not whether Kel'el Ware is going to have his worst night every night. He's not going to have his worst night, but one night might be 6 fouls, 18 minutes, 3 turnovers. And the other night might be 12 rebounds, 14 points, 4 blocks. So the problem is Thomas Bryant, he's not going to have either of those. He's just going to be consistent like 10-10. You know what I mean? Or 10 and 8, whatever the hell.
I get that point. I 100% get that point that you're never going to see a -6 from Thomas Bryant, which I'm not sure if that's true. But what I'm saying is, how are we going to find this out though? Because we don't have to consistently put him out there. Like if we put him out there and we find out that
they're seeing him in practice, Joe.
Okay,
they're seeing him in practice.
Sure, you 100% can see him in practice, but you can also see the development too. You drafted this kid. This isn't a kid that you somebody just threw him at you. No, you drafted this kid, and there's a reason why you drafted him. You drafted him because you felt like he can fit your system. He can help you. So if he can help you, let's find out how much he can help us. That's where the growth comes in.
Well, this is the same thing we went through with Grady Dick last year in Toronto. People were crashing out because they sent a lottery pick to the G League. Then he struggled in the G League. Then they shut him down for a month. Now he's leading the 2023 class in scoring. That's 11 months. 11 months. I'm not kidding. He's 18.8 points per game. He's leading the damn
just
class.
Wemby a bum. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, no, Wemby's not a bum, but that's my point. Like that's the development. You don't draft high. Usually, you don't draft high lottery picks unless they're like franchise setters, like Luka Doncic or Zion Williamson, like franchise
immediately.
Yeah, you don't draft especially young kids, especially 19, 20, like Kel'el Ware, especially physically underdeveloped young kids. You don't draft these guys for what they are today. Unfortunately, people don't want to hear this. Draft them for what they're going to be 3-4 years from now. And it's your job as a successful organization, like the OKC Thunder, like they took a long time with Ousmane Dieng. Physically just not ready for the NBA, right? So they're taking their time with him. He's not a bust because he's not playing. He's playing behind some incredible players, and he's getting better every day in practice. Ideally, he'll be ready for you in a couple of years. When you're ready to move off of one of these, more expensive contracts, he'll be able to come up the system. That's how the Raptors developed for years. Right? They had Fred VanVleet in the G League. He became an all-star. They had Pascal Siakam in the G League. He became an all-star. Nobody was crashing out over Pascal Siakam in the G League because he wasn't a top 10 pick. But if Pascal was in the G League and he was a top 10 pick, people would call him a bust. That's why I'm saying we don't need to react to everything.
Okay, so if I'm not going to jump the gun on Kel'el Ware, because again, like I know how you feel about Summer League. I know how you feel about preseason, because I don't really watch a lot of preseason stuff, and I don't watch a lot of Summer League, but I do watch some of it enough to get a gauge on who a guy is, right? So if that's the case, and a guy like Kel'el Ware, if a guy like Kel'el Ware isn't nearly as ready as you think he is, then let's do that. Let's put him in the G League, right? Let's put him in the G League, and let's see exactly what we're going to get from him right now. And if he's going to struggle in the G League, let's let him struggle in the G League. But if he's going to be on the roster with this team that's already struggling as it is offensively, can we find out if he can help us in any way? Can we find out? Because, again, you drafted him not just off of potential. You drafted him off the talent that he is right now. You didn't just draft him off what he could be in 5 years. You drafted him off of what you saw from him right now. And maybe that might be able to help us. Just possibly.
Interesting.
All right, y'all. It's a couple other games from last night that I do want to get to. So feast your eyes on the screen if you are a visual. If you're watching the show. If you're an audio listener, then just follow me.
Detroit basketball.
The Detroit Pistons beat the Philadelphia 76ers last night, 105-95, to get their first win of the season. They are now 1-4, and the Sixers drop to 1-3. Cade Cunningham led the way for Detroit with 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and he made some threes, 4 to be exact.
Jaden not good enough to start over Killian Hayes. Ivy had how much?
23, I think.
That thing was a disaster from the door last year, Penn. From the door. That thing was a disaster. Right from the beginning.
But a lot of people were saying he's a bust. People were saying, oh my God, Jaden Ivey. People were calling him a bust.
Shout out to Jaden Ivey for balling last night. Also, the Bulls beat the Magic. We just talked about the 3. They beat them 102-99. The Bulls are now 3-2, exceeding early expectations. And so are the Magic. They're 3-2 as well. And the Bulls' latest addition, Josh Giddey, balled out with 20 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and he also went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line. Shout out Josh Giddey.
Extremely sustainable shooting right now. I'm very happy to see it.
I don't know about the long ball, but Digger, your starting point guard for the next decade right there. That's him.
Yeah, Lonzo exists.
Sorry, Mars. That's your starting point guard right there.
Lonzo, start searching for real estate elsewhere.
I'm trying to draw a common line between all the players Mars supports. Jalen Green, Ben Simmons, Lonzo Ball.
There's more players than that, but I guess.
Who else?
Shaden Sharp.
All right, y'all.
There's a glass.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Jalen Green played all 82 last year. What are we talking about? Glass. We available. Everyone else, but Jalen Green's available.
One guy. Give me a break, Mars.
The best guy.
Charlotte Hornets beat the Toronto Raptors 138-133. Nick Richards had a good game last night.
You guys
had 24 points.
Are the worst big in the league. Oh my God.
14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Shout out Nick Richards.
Mars, you think he's garbage? What's the
Yeah, I think Nick Richards is
pretty
trash.
bad. He's
But
pretty
I guess
bad.
when you go in against Bruno Fernando, you can have a good game, right?
Dude, the Raptors were plus 18 with Jakob Poeltl on the court. They were negative 23 in the 13 minutes he didn't play.
Garbage.
Oh, so was
Trash.
it actually Bruno Fernando's fault?
Bruno Fernando played 3 minutes. He was negative 10 in the 3 minutes.
Get
And
Bruno
they didn't-
Fernando.
I'm telling you, I hate Bruno Fernando because this Steven Silas guy was playing him over Şengün. Him, he stinks.
All right, on to
the
the next game. The Brooklyn Nets, as we have spoke about, beat the Memphis Grizzlies 119-106. They are now 2-3, and so are the Memphis Grizzlies. So far in 5 games, they have underwhelmed us. And Dennis Schroeder had 33 points, 8 assists, and he made 6 threes. He is off to a hot start. So shout out Dennis Schroeder and shout out the Brooklyn Nets for, well, winning 2 games.
They underwhelmed you. Memphis not that good for, but I can understand.
If you told me after 5 games that these 2 teams would be in the same position, that's crazy to me. The fact that Washington has won 2 games is just blowing my mind. I thought I thought Washington was going to be the worst team in NBA history. I am so wrong about this.
No, you're not. We can still get there. We can still get there. We still got a whole season left.
I seen Ben Simmons' defense yesterday. I'm just saying.
Speaking of the Wizards beat the Hawks last night, 133-120. The Wizards are now 2-2. The Hawks dropped to 2-3, and the Wizards won in large part from Bilal Coulibaly having a career high with 27 points, coming through with 9 rebounds, 3 steals, and he also knocked down 3 threes and contributed in large part on the defensive end against Trae Young.
Shout out the best Frenchman from the 2023 draft.
He's not, but I was hyping this guy up when he was mocked in the 2nd round, and I was saying he's going to be a lottery pick. I'm feeling very, very vindicated about my pre-draft analysis on him. It's just, again, you could tell like the raw tools were all there. Defensively, this does not even capture his defensive impact.
I still don't understand exactly how this pick went. Like, didn't they move down to pick him? And
yeah, it didn't make sense to me either because they swapped with Indiana,
right,
to go 1 pick down when they could have just took who they wanted in the first place. And I didn't,
unless they thought Indiana was going to take him.
But if they swapped with Indiana, or Indiana swapped with them, I can't remember.
Right.
And then Indiana got Jarris Walker, and they got Bilal.
Mm-hmm.
If Indiana wanted Bilal, they wouldn't have traded the pick.
Right.
Which means Indiana wanted Jarris. Which means if Indiana was going to take Jarris anyway, why would you have to trade up to get Bilal 1 spot when the team ahead of you was Indiana?
What else did they give up in that trade? Because this is like to me, this could be like the Vince Carter Antoine Jameson trade. Remember the 4 for 5 trade? They just wanted to pay a little bit less. That's it.
That's what I would have to assume.
The Raptors were such a trash franchise back then. They couldn't just pick Vince at 4. They had to they had to trade the damn pick.
All right, y'all. Another game that happened last night was the Golden State Warriors beating the New Orleans Pelicans 104-89. They beat them handily behind Buddy Hield's 21, 3 assists, and he made 4 threes. Shout out to the Splash Buddies and shout out to the Warriors. They are 4-1 now, off to a great start.
2 second-round picks was what was added. Zion. He's not Zioning right now. That's what's concerning. Draymond played some great defense, but Zion not Zioning, which is not great. The Pelicans aren't Pelicaning, but Zion is the bigger concern because he just looks bad, like really, really bad. So hopefully he looks in. I remember all the stuff I was saying about Zion's flaws in his game 2 years ago. Now they all just showing up now. I'm like, damn, 2 years too early. But whatever. We'll take it.
And last but certainly not least, the Clippers got packed up by the Portland Trailblazers, 106-105. The game went all the way down to the wire. The Blazers pulled it out. Anthony Simons came through with 25 points, 6 assists, and he made a few threes. The Blazers are now 2-3, and the Clippers are at 500 at 2-2. That's what happened last night, ladies and gentlemen. In case you missed it, that's a quick recap. We have a few more super chats to get into, so let's go ahead and make it happen. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you slap that like button. OG Team said, would y'all rather have Mikal and OG or Spider? What the Jazz asked for in return for Spider is basically what they gave up for Mikal and OG.
Yeah,
For the Knicks, I'd rather have Mikal and OG. For the Knicks, I'd rather have Mikal and OG.
Yeah,
I don't like a Brunson and Donovan Mitchell.
I was just about to say that it doesn't make any sense to have Donovan Mitchell and Brunson in the backcourt, right? And I think that Donovan Mitchell plays better off of Darius Garland than he would playing off of Jalen Brunson. Even 2 years ago, I still think that he plays better off of him.
I think the minute you paid OG $42 million, you changed the equation for me. I would rather have the one better player because you're paying OG like he is Donovan Mitchell. That's the problem for me.
Smooth Tube said, "My fault, Mars. You was spitting yesterday. I won't test your gangster again. Dub host, dub pin, dub chill, dub meathead, dub Trez, dub Mars."
I don't know why I'll be cooking a lot. So yeah, you're probably right. I was cooking. I just don't know what he's referring to, but he's probably right. Like, I'm confident he's right.
MP13 said, "Ron choosing an actual conversation about ethical business and whether or not you should manage yourself with a degenerate gambling ad is crazy."
Dub timing.
You got to switch it up sometimes, you know? The Trib One said, "D'Lo needs to come off the bench. If we aren't going to run plays to get him open on the perimeter in the starting unit, he's a huge negative."
That's the problem.
Are the Lakers still the best team in the league, Ron?
They're the second best team in the West.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what you think is going to happen, or that's what you just reading the standings? You think they're going to finish top 2 in the West?
That's where they're at right now.
Are they 3-2 is second in the West?
Chill,
that's not what he asked you, Ron. Do you think they're going to finish in the top 2 in the West? Yes or no, Ron?
This liar. They fifth.
I didn't have him in number 2 in the West.
Okay, just making sure.
Backpedaling.
The problem with guys like D'Angelo Russell are exactly what the problem is right now. When you got a guy who does one thing, and if he's not doing that one thing, he's completely and utterly ineffective. That throws, like, why is he on the floor? And D'Angelo Russell is one of those guys who, if his jump shot, his game is predicated on him making shots. That's his game. That opens up the offense for him. That opens up him getting downhill. That opens up him getting off the basketball. All of that is predicated on him making shots. And when he's not making shots, he doesn't do any of those other things. He doesn't defend. He doesn't get downhill nearly as much. He doesn't distribute. He doesn't play make. He doesn't do any of those things nearly as much. So that's the problem when you have guys like that who are virtually one-dimensional.
It's funny, D'Lo came in as a quote-unquote pure point guard, and now apparently his game is just predicated on shooting. That's tough. Versatility.
The Trib One said, "The offense still looks good when we aren't indecisive. Chemistry errors are happening right now. Still, Lakers in 6. Still, go get Zach because he better."
Let's be clear about one thing. Despite the quote-unquote offensive issues, you ran into a damn good defense last night. They shut the door on you guys. That Cleveland Cavaliers team shut the door on the Lakers last night. They were really good around the rim. They were really good at cleaning glass. They forced turnovers on the perimeter. They put James in real precarious situations. So y'all ran into a real tough defense last night. So it wasn't just your offense was bad. Your offense was bad largely due to how good Cleveland's defense is.
And shout out to Evan Mobley for getting them empty stats in the fourth quarter. Shout out to him. I seen it. Shout out to him.
Malik shot through the super chat. He said, "I don't understand how Jayson Tatum is a first-team All-NBA 3 years in a row, and he's a top 10 player."
You don't understand it?
I think he's trying to say he's more than a top 10 player. I think that's what he's trying to get to. He's trying to say if you're first-team All-NBA 3 years in a row, you should be top 5. I think that's the point he's trying to make.
That's not fair logic. And I mean, I think most of us would agree that there's a separation between Jokic and Tatum. I just think like Tatum deserves a little bit more love than he usually gets. So when people start saying he's like top 15, he's not the best player on his team, that's, I think, when people get a little bit like, whoa, shut the hell up. You're not watching this, right? But it's like if someone told me Tatum's the 6th or 7th best player in the league, I'm not going to go nuts over that. That's whatever. That's respectful.
I think he's top 5, but if you told me he's the 6th best player in the game, that wouldn't bother me at all.
There you go.
Well, someone told you he's 11th.
That's
I don't think that there's 10 players in the game today better than Jayson Tatum. No,
haters.
I do not think that. But to Penn's point, I mean, we've had that in the past where a guy makes first team All NBA, and I mean, not Isaiah Thomas. Latrell Sprewell is a prime example of that in 94 when he was first team All NBA. Latrell Sprewell wasn't close to Hakeem Olajuwon. No, he wasn't close to the player Hakeem Olajuwon.
I am so confused. Sprewell made first team All NBA, and I don't.
I knew he made All NBA. I don't know if it was first team.
Not only was he an All NBA performer that year, that's the only year he made the All NBA team.
Shout out Trail.
I mean, I can make an argument he was better than Hakeem.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I could. Give me some time. Give me some time to compare. I can make the argument.
No, you can't.
Darren Foss said Swiper been on mute about Tatum for 8 straight days and waited until he lost a 3-point overtime game to speak on him. Laughing my ass off.
It just bothers me that he denies that he hates Tatum. Like, that's what bothers me. Like, we can just admit to our hate. Like, I'm very open about my hate. He just want to live in denial and act like he just objective. Like, he know.
Holy shit. He was not kidding. Latrell Sprewell made a first team All NBA, and I am shocked out of my mind because Spree was one of my favorite players when he played in New York, and I did not know this about him. It is, however, worth noting that is such a stupid thing because David Robinson was second team, and he was way better. Sean Kemp that year was way better, and he was second team. Charles Barkley was better. He made second team. I would argue Kevin Johnson was better that year. Mark Price made third team. He was better. Gary Payton was third team. He was better. What the hell? Who did he pay? Shaquille O'Neal was third team. That's why these positions need to go positionless.
Yeah, but he was.
I could argue among the 15 players that made All NBA that year, if I'm looking at the analytics correctly here, I understand L basketball and all that shit. He's like the 14th best player. That's crazy.
I brought it up because the super chat was about first team All NBA, and I thought about first team All NBA, and I'm thinking the guys that are on first team All NBA, and I'm thinking Spree made first team All NBA in 1994, and he wasn't close to the player that Olajuwon was. No, he wasn't.
But thank you for that history lesson because I did not know that. That's
absolutely.
Respect Latrell Sprewell, man.
I do respect Latrell Sprewell.
Love Latrell, man. Like, it was the best year of KG's life in Minnesota was with Spree.
Slitherman said, I say that to say what you were talking about isn't any real evolution. It's just individual outliers who have had modern advantages. Talking about Swiper with the modern technology. And
modern stuff is what drives evolution. The game evolves because of modernization. So, like, that's kind of like oxymoronic. You can't say it's not evolution, it's modern advantages, but modern advantages are what create evolution. The game changing is what creates evolution. Adding the 3-point line made guys better shooters. The game evolved. You're not going to be like, well, this guy actually can shoot just as well. He just didn't have a 3-point line. That may be true, but the reason guys shoot more is because there's a 3-point line. So that drove evolution. Like, you're saying the same thing and saying they're not the same thing. That's what. Well,
AB Malik said Tatum went 12 for 26 in the Detroit game and 6 for 13 from 3. Thumbs up emoji.
So yeah, Ron, he wasn't inconsistent.
All right. Mind Goblin said Wemby's so great, he already better than Tatum.
Man, he's never better than Jeremy Sohan. What are you talking about, man?
But he will be. He will.
Mars, when are we gonna? At what point, Mars, are you prepared to turn the TV off when you see the Jeremy Sochan 1-on-1? How you feel?
I'm here for it. Jeremy Sohan 1-on-1 is better than Wemby sidestep threes. I'm just waiting for Devin Vassell to get back.
This is development, man. I'm not about to second guess the same dude who helped Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. I'm not second guessing the organization that built these dudes up. The
organization can do what they want. You're not gonna make a bum less of a bum. He a bum.
Who a bum?
Philip Redford said, Ron, you was clowning the Nuggets for going into OT versus the Nets. What happened to the Grizzlies? Plus, they were in Memphis.
You guys tried to tell me Memphis were good.
I thought Memphis was going to be good. I thought Memphis was going to be good.
They are going to be good. They are. Just so you guys know, Penn, I don't know if you noticed, but the season started a week ago yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So for the record.
It's not over yet? It's not over yet?
Not yet.
Nope. You're not crowning a champion tomorrow?
I can assure you
nope.
Memphis are not better than the Dallas Mavericks. I can assure you.
Just wait for GG to get back.
I can assure you. In January? Okay.
Alan L. said there was actually a whole segment back in 2023 about the Kings being a trash franchise. L Kings.
That was second.
Masinko G said Mars looked like Peyton Siva, and Swiper looked like Krillin. L Mets Chilltown, Dub host, Dub Pim. Shout out Pim and shout out Robert Swift and Slava Medvedenko.
Don't compare me to anyone from Seattle, man. I'm trying to stay as far away from that.
They were going through the chat and they were trying to tell me who I look like, and they went through 9 different ethnicities. I got called Deron Williams.
Oh damn.
Where the hell? Where you had you get Darren Williams and Penn in the same sentence? Hell no.
That's kind of. No, I see it. I see it.
I do not.
I see it.
I don't.
I swear to God, when I was in high school, people thought I was mixed. Like half the time, they were just like, "Are you mixed? Are you mixed? Are you mixed? Well, where are your parents from? Blah blah blah." So I've been getting this my whole life. But I got a Turk, I got a Colombian, I got a Serb, I got a Slovak. It's just crazy, man. And then I got Eminem on top of it. And someone called me Jason Capono. And Steve Blake, what the hell?
I see it. I see Jason Capono.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Mo said, just got home from work. Dub show. Y'all see my Pistons finally win? About damn time.
Yeah, the Sixers stink. Embiid for MVP. Embiid's MVP case is getting stronger by not playing.
I believe the word that Mars used is stinky.
Indeed, very stinky.
Stinky.
Yo, Twit the drop. Said, shout out my Thunder on a great start. Mars, as an OKC advocate on the pod, I need you to spread as much propaganda about us as you can every episode.
I try, but it just gets met with, oh, they're not going to win because they're too young every time. So I guess they're going to win.
Are technically the youngest team.
Mars, I just think that they're a year away. That's all. I think that I don't think that they're far away. I just think they're a year away from really challenging for the NBA championship.
Yeah, and I think they're
3
I mean, and then they're going to be in the finals, and then they're going to lose to Boston inevitably. And you're like, see, I told you they're a year away. It's like they ain't lose to Boston because they were inexperienced. They're going to lose to Boston because Boston's just stupid. But like, they're not going to lose because of their inexperience. That's not going to be the reason they lose.
Kanji became a member today. Motaz Musa also became a member today, and then Motaz Musa sent through some super chats. He said, I sent 4 super chats and there are no responses. You see, Montaz Musa, there's levels to super chat.
He's gonna say you sent broke boy super chat, so you don't get a response. That's what he's trying to say.
That's not what I was going to
That's
say.
That's what he was gonna say. He's gonna say it more professionally.
You can say that though, Ron.
He was gonna say it more professionally. That's what he's gonna say.
It's a pecking order, Montaz or Motaz. If you send through a red super chat, that's probably gonna get read immediately. If you send through a pink super chat, it's probably gonna get read immediately. If you send through an orange super chat, well, that changes the topic. If you send through a green super chat, well, get around to it as soon as we can. If you send through a yellow super chat, that's to answer your question right now. And if you send through a blue super chat, Motaz, more than likely, it's gonna get read in the last 10-15 minutes of the show. But Motaz also said, Clippers versus Celtics finals, I have the vision.
That's what you wanted us to respond to?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
No, it's not happening.
Motaz, I see your vision. I see it. Mavs, Luka, Clay, Kyrie probably doesn't see your vision, but they said Thunder 23rd offense. Caruso has 5 total points.
That's what's so concerning, that their offense, because they haven't made threes, has been not good, and they're still destroying everyone they play.
Dub's bestie said, I'm a little late, but did y'all see Chill on Jimmy? Chill, you were on Jimmy?
I was not.
Jimmy Kimmel?
No, I was
Jimmy
not.
Butler? Jimmy Two Shoes?
I don't know what that means.
Huh. No. All right. No time off. Baca said crying because JT got criticized. Pim, quit bitching.
We're just gonna pretend that's not about me. Cool.
Lowe's left butt cheek said the Shea pull-up 3 is not real. Mars.
He's shooting it like it is. Like,
he's shooting that shit in transition, Mars. Like he's been doing that for 8 years. Like
because you know why? Because he knows there's no consequences. He know they're gonna win by 15 regardless. Why not get him up?
I'm like, my dude.
I respect it, and it's helping my Jalen Green propaganda because hey, Jalen Green shooting 40% on these threes. But 29
Steven said you can't criticize Tatum at all. Apparently, Swiper.
You can criticize Jayson Tatum, but when you criticize Jayson Tatum 16 times more than you criticize anyone else and then try and deny that you're a hater, like, let's be serious.
Motaz Musa said, Ron, can you admit now JT's better than Brown by far?
Yes.
You still stand on that?
I got a question real quick.
What's up?
The way Swiper talk about Jayson Tatum, is that how I sound about Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You think so, Mars?
Yes. We just don't talk about Kobe as much, but yes.
Okay.
Is that how I sound about him?
Yes.
Because if that's how I sound about Kobe Bryant, I clearly got to change that because I don't hate that dude. Because if that's how I sound about him, we got to change that immediately.
Yeah, chill.
That's how you sound about Kyrie Irving too.
Got to get him into your top 5.
I don't think that's how you sound about Kobe Bryant.
I absolutely. But you hate Kobe too.
I don't hate Kobe.
Oh, I forgot you lower on Kobe than Chill.
Alvida Sabonis, like of course the other Kobe hater
$25 super chat. No, we can't get into this. No way. Mavs, Luka.
I put him in the same group. I put Kobe in the same group. I didn't say he was over him.
Pin, we don't have enough time. We don't have a whole another 3-hour episode to get into. Mavs, Luka, Clay, Kyrie said, does Kyrie got a chance at second or third team? He's a top 3 shooting guard. Chill before you get out of here.
No.
See, hater. Told you.
Sorry.
I said about Jayson Tatum.
All right, catch you tomorrow.
Yep.
Chill. Oh well, me and Chill will be on playback later tonight, so you guys make sure you tap in.
Again, down.
Yeah, Houston and we're gonna actually support
no way you guys are doing that game.
We're gonna actually support the Rockets by being there for moral support as you guys are getting.
You're gonna watch Luka do unholy things to my team today,
and that's why we gotta watch it.
And Clay gonna make 11 threes.
You have no faith.
The law of averages.
The law of averages says
Clay have Luka shooting 28% over the last 2 games, whatever he shot. He already kills us every time he sees us. Alongside the law of averages saying he needs to have a good game to up his percentages, we're about to experience 60 from Luka.
But
Klay Thompson just shot 2 for 7.
But he has never seen the defense of Dylan Brooks plus Jalen Green, the 2 greatest defenders of all time.
Okay, first of all, Jalen Green, yes. Dylan Brooks, no. But also, Klay Thompson cooks us every time we see him, and he just came off a game 2 for 7. He's about to make 11 threes. It's over. Like, I've already accepted this over. I'm just hoping that at least we play well. I'm just hoping we play well and they just beat us because Luka and Clay are going to combine for 96. That's what I'm hoping happens.
I'm calling it right now. We got 2 40 pieces tonight. We got Luka going for an inevitable 40 piece.
Facts.
And then we got Jalen Green up in his average tonight to 33, man. I got Jalen Green. Hey.
There we go. Facts.
JG going crazy tonight. That's all I know.
Facts.
Ray Starr said Jaylen Brown 1 for 10 from 3. Get off the long ball line.
But we never talked about that today, did we?
I brought it up. Keep pulling them, JB. Do your thing.
Montaz Musa said, Chill got that unintentional homosexual rigmarole.
That's what he wanted you to read, by the way. That's what he was complaining about you not reading.
Well, next time, put a couple more dollars behind it, and we'll get it read. And then he also said Derek White low-key better than Hallie. Or is that what he wanted?
Derek White low-key better than a lot of people, but that's the whole
I don't think he's better than Halliburton.
Neither do I, but there's a lot of people out there.
But it's close.
I do.
It's closer than most people would admit, but he's not better.
I think
Derek White, the third best shooting guard in the league if you really think critically for him, but that's cool.
Ray Starr said Tatum 5 for 18 from 3. Get off the long ball line. Get off.
Hold on, Mars. Third best shooting guard in the league. He's better than Ant. He's better than Devin Booker. He's better than Spider Mitchell. He's better than Jaylen Brown. Pick one. Who's he better than?
All of them not named Devin Booker.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you didn't throw Jalen Green in there, who's obviously in the top 3. So Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Derek White. There you go.
No wonder the shooting guard rankings for panel were so off, man. It's all you. You're just messing up the shooting guard rankings every year.
I had Jalen Green at 5. So Jalen Green getting on. Yes, but I was
pathetic right now.
No, I want to put it out there. A, I forgot about Kyrie. Just forgot about him. And B, I was making sure Jalen Green was on my list. Like, I don't get. But if you want to see my real guards, the Hoop Talk podcast,
I didn't forget about Kyrie. B, Jalen Green is on my list.
He averages 29 right now. I don't know. Like, we average 29, so put some respect to my guy. Please. Thank you.
Motaz Musa said, y'all should watch Attack on Titan. It's peak.
I'm good.
Attack on Titan.
Chat,
y'all seen that?
Don't know what it
Anime,
is.
I think. Pretty sure.
Chat, let us know if we need to be watching that or
I'm
not.
not.
I've never watched any anime. I don't know what am I missing. I don't know.
Apparently, it's like the best thing ever, but I don't watch it.
All right, well, shout out Attack on Titan. No Cat Print said B-Pod's playing right now with a broken nose.
Shout out to him.
Football Breakdown said Swiper so subtly, condescendingly.
Subtly.
It's subtly.
Ron,
It's
I'm about to
subtly.
leave.
Read it. It's subtly.
We speak English, Ron. It's subtly. I promise you, it's subtly. Anyways, we are not.
Swiper so subtly condescending. Him and Penn are twins.
I don't think Swiper's subtle with it. I think he's actively condescending.
Subtle, Mars.
I don't know if Penn's intentionally condescending, but he's also condescending. And then you are me, obviously. I'm like the king of condescension, but I get
You're
away
just
with it, I
trolling.
guess.
You're just trolling. I don't think you're condescending at all. I actually think, yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't think you're condescending. Am I wrong?
I mean, maybe I haven't been condescending towards you. No, I was definitely condescending towards you with that.
In the
Bob stuff.
beginning, you were like warp, but that was one episode. Who cares?
I mean, I'd be condescending in my head all the time. I just pick my battle. Sometimes I can't be bothered. But like, I be thinking all you guys are idiots like throughout the show. Like, I just be listening like, damn, you guys are actually stupid. But I just don't say it. But I'm
Penn, are you guys
thinking
twins?
condescending thoughts for sure.
Are we twins? No, we are definitely not twins. But I do understand that we have some of the same quirks, like maybe just personality quirks and stuff. But he's probably a little bit funnier. I'm probably a lot more boring and white. So it's gonna come across as like LLL me and funny for him. But I just can't stand people yelling. Like me personally, like I just can't stand people yelling, screaming super loud, and then I get super loud, and then I get a headache. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, shout out to the people that yell, and shout out to the subtle condescension.
Subtle. You're just doing this on purpose now. You're doing this on purpose. Okay.
MTHJ 301 said, "Told y'all about my Warriors. We deep. Watch out."
Good regular season team. You guys gonna get smoked if you make the playoffs though.
And last but not least, we about to get up out of here, but I guess it wouldn't be right on today's episode if Motaz Musa didn't send through one more super chat and say, Mars, I'm gonna convince you to watch it one day.
I don't know how you're gonna do that, but all right, okay.
Motaz, I think you can get the job done. Mars is easy to sway, as you know. Okay. But all right, y'all. We'll see you guys later on super chat. Pull up and
he said on super chat, like this guy's unserious. Like, what we got?
We'll see you guys later on super chat.
Are you having a stroke? Playback. Are you okay? You having a stroke? You good?
I might have already had one.
All right, we good? All right.
We'll see you guys later on playback. Pull up and see if you guys can get to chill, and we'll see how many points Luka Doncic drops. We'll see if JG could go for 40, and we will be. I told y'all we'll see y'all later on super chat. See, you got to speak things into existence, y'all. See, I told you guys earlier, but I'm not gonna get back into that. Full Metal Quirk said, "Would removing the corner three and moving the line back be bad for the game?"
You should have asked that question tomorrow. That's too nuanced of a conversation for 2 seconds.
One
yes
sentence?
Or no? Do you guys think so?
Go ahead. 1 second. I think removing the corner three is great.
I think expanding the court by about 1 foot each way would help a lot. That's my view. Guys step out of bounds way too often. Athletes are bigger. Expand the court 1 foot each way to keep up with the fact that modern athletes are bigger. I think that would help the game a lot.
Kind of agree. Like, doesn't make sense that, like, as obviously the NBA players are going to have better athletes and bigger players and stuff like that. You would assume that just like from high school to college, it's a bigger court. You would assume that from college to the NBA should be a bigger
will
court
expand
too.
the space because the space is a natural response to the evolution of the talent. So if you just make the court a little bit bigger, people don't have to be shooting threes to get space. They'll just get space by the fact that the court is bigger. And space is good. That's why the NBA it can flow better. It'll be much better for the game aesthetically.
Raise the rim to 11 feet and make dunks worth 3 points.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
all right, y'all. I'll see you later on Super Chat.
Merry Christmas, guys.
All right, tomorrow.
That was subtle.
Oh, and shout out Napoleon Ice Cream.
Oh my God.